Your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. No coercion from China. Chinese ambassador says relationship with the Bahamas harms no one. Michael Pintard responds to claims from Prime Minister Davis. And the government signs on to intellectual property treaties, reviving the Bahamas Intellectual Property Office. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we are getting a preview of the upcoming Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival. And later in business, it's our monthly series with Bristol Wines and Spirits. Glad to have them back with us. That's all ahead this morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas, Yan Jiarang, saying that China does not coerce, threaten, or invade other countries, and reaffirmed China's long-standing partnership with the Bahamas. She said the relationship between the two countries is not meant to exclude or harm any third party. Ambassador Yan defending China as a friend to both the Bahamas and members of the Latin America and the Caribbean during a press briefing at the Chinese embassy yesterday. She said, as the world's second largest economy and a key engine of the global south, China does not coerce, does not threaten, does not sanction, does not invade others, and China is not a colonizer, but a trustworthy friend and a long-term cooperating partner for LAC countries. Earlier this month, while at a meeting in Washington, D.C., U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged Caribbean leaders to make, quote, responsible, transparent decisions when selecting vendors and contractors for critical infrastructure projects to ensure that they are not vulnerable to security risks from what he called malign actors like the Chinese Communist Party. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy denounced those claims. Well, Ambassador Yan yesterday recognizing 28 years of diplomatic relations between China and the Bahamas, saying that, quote, this kind of relationship harms no one And I think we have the right, and we also have the wisdom to choose with whom to be our friends and with whom to be our trading partners. Meanwhile, the Chinese ambassador saying that a loan approved for a new specialty hospital on New Providence is in the final stages. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Darville has said that the hospital will be funded through a $290 million concessional 20-year loan from the China Export-Import Bank with an interest rate of 2%. It's unclear if the loan is still valued at $290 million. But Ambassador Yan saying yesterday that it's in the final stage of internal approval from the Chinese side, saying that from the Bahamian side, they've already fulfilled all the materials required. She said the ball was in their court and that they need to speed up the approval process. Ambassador Yan also revealing that a team of doctors from Hunan province will visit Princess Margaret Hospital for a month to perform up to 300 eye surgeries. In March, Darville said the government hoped to break ground on the hospital this year. He also said that all documents were submitted and awaiting approval. A man who repeatedly raped his preteen stepdaughter, resulting in her getting pregnant, sentenced to 10 years in prison. The 37-year-old man will be on probation for 2 years after his release, and a breach would result in a 1-year prison sentence. The man, who's been in prison since his arrest in June 2024, pleaded guilty to unlawful sexual intercourse with a dependent and guarding when he appeared before Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson. The prosecutor told the court that the man began molesting his 12-year-old girl in August 2023. He frightened her into silence by telling her that he would kill her if she told anyone what he did. On one occasion, the man gave his stepdaughter a vape to smoke, which made her black out. When she came to, the child realized that her underwear was off. When the man realized that the girl was pregnant, he made her drink castor oil and Guinness, which made her throw up. The man told his stepdaughter that he would take her to the doctor, whom he trusted. Before that happened, the girl's mother confronted her about her weight gain and swollen stomach. That's when the child revealed that her stepfather had molested her and had threatened to kill her if she had said anything. The matter was subsequently reported to the police. The man admitted to the offenses during a confrontation between himself and the complainant. As part of a plea deal, the man received a concurrent sentence of 8 years. He will receive credit for the 11 months he spent on remand. A witness who carried out an internal audit into contracts awarded by the Water and Sewage Corporation between 2017 and 2021 admitted yesterday that she became a qualified auditor in March 2024. Diane Saunders Adley, a manager at the corporation, made the admission while testifying in the ongoing trial of Adrian Gibson and 4 others as lead lawyer. Damien Gomez KC questioned her qualifications. Gibson, the MP for Long Island and the corporation's former chairman, is accused of illegally benefiting from contracts awarded during his tenure. He's on trial alongside the corporation's former general manager, Elwood Donaldson Jr., and contract awardees Joanne Knowles, Jerome Missick, and Peaches Farquharson. Overseas, a federal judge ruling late Tuesday that the U.S. retain custody and control of migrants apparently removed to South Sudan in case the judge orders their removals were unlawful. U.S. District Judge Brian Murphy in Massachusetts issued the ruling after an emergency hearing after attorneys for immigrants said the Trump administration appears to have begun deporting people from Myanmar and Vietnam to South Sudan, despite a court order restricting removals to other countries. The judge saying the government must maintain custody and control of class members currently being removed to South Sudan or to any other third country to ensure the practical feasibility of return if the court finds that such removals were unlawful. While the judge left the details to the government's discretion, he said he expects the migrants will be treated humanely. Two of northern Gaza's last functioning hospitals have been encircled by Israeli troops, preventing anyone from leaving or entering the facilities. Hospital staff and aid groups are claiming this as Israel pursues its renewed offensive into the devastated Palestinian territory. The Indonesian hospital of and Al Adwa Hospital are among the region's only surviving medical centers. Israeli authorities issued evacuation orders Friday for large parts of northern Gaza ahead of attacks intended to pressure the Hamas militant group to release more hostages. New evacuation orders followed Tuesday. Both hospitals, as well as another and 3 primary healthcare centers, are within the evacuation zone, though Israel has not ordered the evacuation of the facilities themselves. Another 2 hospitals and 4 primary care centers are within 1,000 meters or yards of the zone. Israeli military operations and evacuation orders are stretching the healthcare system beyond the breaking point, according to the Director General of the World Health Organization. U.S. President Donald Trump will host South Africa's leader at the White House today for a meeting that might be tense after Trump accused the country's government of allowing a genocide to take place against minority white farmers. South Africa has strongly rejected the allegation, and President Cyril Ramaphosa pushed the meeting with Trump in an attempt to salvage his country's relationship with the United States, which is at its lowest point since the end of the apartheid system of racial segregation in 1994. Trump has launched a series of accusations at South Africa's black-led government, including that it's seizing land from white farmers, enforcing anti-white policies, and pursuing an anti-American foreign policy. Ramaphosa says he hopes to correct what he calls damaging mischaracterizations during the meeting, which is Trump's first with an African leader at the White House since he returned to office. Some in South Africa worry their leader might get Zelensky'd, a reference to the public bashing Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance handed out to the Ukrainian president in their infamous Oval Office meeting in February. And France plans to build a maximum security prison wing for drug traffickers and Islamic militants near a former penal colony in French Guiana, sparking an outcry among residents and local officials. The wing would form part of a $450 million prison announced in 2017 that is expected to be completed by 2028 and hold 500 inmates. The prison would be built in Saint-Laurent-du-Maroni, a town bordering Suriname that once received prisoners shipped by Napoleon III in the 1800s, some of whom were sent to the notorious Devil's Island off the coast of French Guiana. The French Justice Minister, Gerard Darmanin, announcing plans to build the high-security wing during an official visit to French Guiana on Saturday. He said in a Facebook post that 15 of the wing's 60 spaces would be reserved for Islamic militants. Darmanin was quoted by a French weekly newspaper as saying that the prison also aims to keep suspected drug traffickers from having any contact with their criminal networks. In sports, the H.O. Nash Lions junior girls and Anatol Rogers Timberwolves junior boys both successfully defending their titles at the 2025 GSSA host at the Roscoe L. Davies Soccer Fields Tuesday. The Lions held on to a 1-0 halftime lead to retain their title against the D.W. Davis Royals in the junior girls matchup, ending the game by that same score. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves junior boys have not lost a GSSA soccer final since 2018. The team kept that streak going with a narrow 2-1 win over the S.C. McPherson Sharks. Read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And Larry Demerit, who made headlines a year ago in becoming the first Bahamian trainer of a horse in the 150-year history of the Kentucky Derby, has passed away. The second-generation horse trainer who moved to the United States in 1976 to pursue his passion died Monday night of cardiac arrest after a long battle with cancer, as reported by the Louisville Courier-Journal on Tuesday. Larry Demerit was 75. From the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 20 of his 31 points in the second half, and the top-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 114-88 Tuesday night in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Gilgeous-Alexander made 8 of 14 field goals in the second half after a rough start. Julius Randle scored 28 points for 6th-seeded Minnesota, but just 8 in the second half. And Anthony Edwards, who had been averaging 26.5 points per game in the playoffs, was held to just 18 on 5 of 13 shooting. Edwards said the Thunder packed the paint, and he expects the Timberwolves to take advantage of that tactic going forward. Game 2 is Thursday in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City was just 2 days removed from eliminating Denver in Game 7 of the conference semifinals. Minnesota hadn't played in a week. And Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, the star point guards glaring at each other in a WWE wrestling ring last summer in Madison Square Garden, seeming a fitting next step in the rivalry between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. It's already featured headbutts and chokes. Teams go at it again tonight in Game 1 of the Knicks' first trip to the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years, with the winner of their 9th playoff matchup headed to the NBA Finals. From the NHL, the reigning Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers wasted no time snatching home ice advantage in the Eastern Conference Final. The Panthers beat the Carolina Hurricanes 5-2 in Tuesday night's opener of their Eastern Conference Final Series. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Joker's Wild Comedy Club. Another hot and sunny day in store for most of the Bahamas today. Almost all of the Bahamas, as a dry air mass supported by a stacked high-pressure system remains anchored across the Western Caribbean. That pattern is going to persist into the evening hours as the surface ridge gradually weakens due to an approaching prefrontal trough. So the likelihood of showers that's going to increase across the northernmost islands in response to that approaching trough by late tonight into tomorrow. So for most of the area, these weather conditions, the dry, hot conditions, will continue as stable atmospheric conditions maintain the summer-like conditions. The only change will be for the northern Bahamas as that front meanders just north of the area from Thursday into the weekend. So the combination of surface troughing, lingering moisture, and an upper-level jet may provide some short-lived pops of showers and thunderstorms over the next few days, as we said, into the weekend. The Western Caribbean ridge will strengthen again, though, by the beginning of next week. So today, feel-like temperatures will be in the mid-90s again, and that will continue through to the weekend. Everyone's being advised to remain in the shade, limit outdoor activities, drink plenty of water, and wear comfortable clothing. UV indices will be very high as well, so wear protective clothing, sunglasses, sunscreen over the next few days. So for today, your forecast for the northern Bahamas, mostly sunny today with some cloudy intervals during the afternoon hours. Expect mostly fair to partly cloudy conditions tonight. Less than a 10% chance of showers today, increasing to 10 to 20% chance by late tonight. Wind south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. For the rest of the country, the northwest Bahamas and the central islands, mostly sunny today, turning fair tonight, less than a 10% chance of showers. Wind southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times for the northwest Bahamas. East to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. And for the southeastern islands, a mix of sun and clouds today. Still a 10% chance of showers. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Across the country, look for highs around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, but it will feel a whole lot hotter. The heat index in the mid-90s today. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 76 Fahrenheit, around 24, 25 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have more on your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Joker's Wild Comedy Club. the longest-running entertainment venue ever in the Bahamas, closing its doors after 35 years of bringing laughter. To celebrate, the very funny and talented Tommy Davidson will be the closing act from starting yesterday through May 25th. Tickets are $50. Group rates are available for groups of 10 or more. For tickets, go to atlantisbahamas.com. Grab your friends and come out and have a great evening of laughs for the last time, going on now at Joker's Wild Comedy Club through May 25th.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing today's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Only one item?
Are you tired of limited choices?
I'll have the one item on the menu, thank you.
Wow!
So many choices.
Why settle for less when you deserve more? When it comes to the ways you pay, the more, the better. With a variety of payment options available, you can enjoy the freedom to choose what works best for you. Choose freedom. Choose flexibility. Choose from the full menu of payment options. The future of pay is digital.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
The 2025 Samuel P. Hagan High School Soccer Nationals are here. May 15th through 16th in Grand Bahama. May 21st to 30th in Nassau at the Roscoe A.L. Davies Field. Top teams from Nassau, Freeport, Eleuthera, and Abaco battle for the crown in the Duncan Girls and J.S. Johnson Boys divisions. Calling all junior Junction groups. Come out, bring the vibes, and rep your school. Inclusive matches, music, food, and family fun daily. Gates open at 3 p.m. Visit bahamasfa.net. Be there.
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else, all to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Here's a price list of some of the roofing material we carry at Pinda Enterprises. 5/8 pressure-treated roofing ply starting at $36.68. Grace Select Water Shield, $134.20 a roll. Felt, 15 pounds, $16.50. 30 pound, $19.80. Owens, Corning Duration Shingles, and Certainty Landmark Shingles, $56.56 a bundle. Gallon of roof cement, $33.47. All sizes treated dimensional lumber. And of course, we have all nails and all screws. We have 5-inch sheetrock, $28.76. Half-inch sheetrock, $22.18. All prices include VAT.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'. Since 1989, Joker's Wild Comedy Club has been the heart of laughter in the Bahamas. But now an era is coming to a close.
Get ready for my guy, comedian Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson, along with featured comedian Kirk Green and house comedian Naughty. Don't miss your last chance to experience the magic. May 20th to the 25th, Joker's Wild Comedy Club. Admission $50. Get your tickets now at Atlantis Bahamas /events.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards. Chester Robards, good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Glad to be here as always.
Okay, a lot to get to this morning, including a preview of the Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival, all the details about that. And later, our friends from Bristol Wines and Spirits are here for a monthly series with them. That's all ahead on this Wednesday, but there's more to talk about in the news. And in the news, quite a bit to talk about. China, the Chinese embassy having a press conference here yesterday and revealing some information about where things stand with that hospital. The hospital is planned for New Providence Highway. And on just what they're hoping to accomplish with their relationship with the Bahamas. We're going to get to that in a bit. We've been talking about it for 2 days now. I know people are getting tired of it, but just what the FNM is saying and Michael Pintar is saying about what Prime Minister Davis has been saying about him. We'll get to that as well. But there's a big story.
Malign actors.
Okay, we'll get to that in a bit. But there's also this story here, very, very disturbing story. Man, Artesia Davis writing about it. 10-year sentence for man who got stepdaughter pregnant. Wow. So a man who repeatedly raped his preteen stepdaughter resulting in her getting pregnant, was Tuesday sentenced to 10 years in prison. The 37-year-old man will be on probation for 2 years after his release, and a breach would result in a 1-year prison sentence. The man, who's been in prison since his arrest in June 2024, pleaded guilty to unlawful sexual intercourse with a dependent and garroting when he appeared before Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson. The prosecutor, Corinne McVean, told the court that the man began molesting the 12-year-old girl in August 2023. He frightened her into silence by telling her that he would kill her if she told anyone what he did. On one occasion, the man gave his daughter a vape to smoke, which made her black out. When she came to, she realized that her underwear was off. When the man realized that the girl was pregnant, he made her drink castor oil and Guinness, which made her throw up. The man told his stepdaughter that he would take her to a doctor whom he trusted. Before that happened, the girl's mother confronted her about her weight gain and swollen stomach. That's when the child revealed that her stepfather had molested her and had threatened to kill her if she said anything. The matter was subsequently reported to the police. The man admitted to the offenses during a confrontation between himself and the complainant. As part of the plea agreement, the man received a concurrent sentence of 8 years for garroting. He will receive credit for the 11 months he spent on remand. Man. What do you say after that, eh?
Yeah, what can you say?
Really
These people are
disturbing.
animals.
Yeah, animals is right. And it's so many of these stories every week. Every week you're hearing things like this. But, there's a whole lot more of it than what we're hearing. And I don't know if they're listening. I don't know if they're in the car. But the children who are victims of this stuff, tell somebody. Tell somebody. Tell somebody. If that person doesn't believe you, tell somebody else. Do not suffer in silence. Do not. Wow. We have a call. I'm not sure. Okay, let's take the call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Right.
Hi. Good morning.
And good morning, Jester.
Morning.
Grammy boy, GNN, yeah. Right. First things first. The Chinese. Everybody know. The only people the Chinese.
We're going to get to that in a bit, though. We're going to get to that. I thought you wanted to comment on this story we just read.
Yes, I'm going to comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chinese don't care nobody but themselves. Because just how they bring all of their equipment from China and then all of their labors from China, that should tell you something.
Well, it's good for a country to care about themselves. I don't know if we care about ourselves. We care more about everybody else. That's something we should try to emulate.
Maybe we need the Bahamians first.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but the situation, Dwight, I got a time switch for you. I kind of agree with Papa yesterday. This perpetrator of this crime is older than 18. So why, when y'all report,
yeah, but
y'all don't say who these people are, Dwight?
The child she's a child. She's 12.
If she ain't no child no more, eh?
What? No. What are you talking about? Were you listening?
I'm talking about this man who was rude. You ain't calling his name yet, who was fooling
the
with his
victim
daughter.
is still a teenager, still young.
We would like to know who he is, so he don't perpetrate none of that on the public at large. We want to know.
Yeah, I'm sure he would, but we're trying to protect her.
Well,
The situation that Popper mentioned yesterday is a different story, and I don't disagree with him, but editorial issues.
Our laws say once you're over 18,
yeah, but that's not the case here. Not the case here. She's a minor still. This just happened last year, so she's probably 13.
Oh. Okay, then.
Yeah.
All right, but the Chinese don't care about nobody. Thanks.
Okay. All right. I'm afraid to take this call. You think this is about what we're talking about, or
I'll never
even
understand
that? I don't
why
know.
people don't understand why they don't say these people's names.
Now, the case yesterday was interesting. It was a married couple, grown people, and the other paper did name them, but we just didn't want to. I mean, it's really not really your business. You know, it's, but
Yeah,
you
why
could say
people
that,
just be so interested in knowing who they is?
yeah. Well, I mean, you see, is this what you're going to say if we do pass the marital rape laws, that you need to know who it is? No, you might not need to know who that is. I don't know. Boy. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
And Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Chester.
Morning.
Hey, Dwight. The situation I know why they're so shocked and so surprised, man, Dwight.
What are we talking about?
So shows and people think it's live, right? Because, ain't nothing changed and ain't nothing changing. The real monsters inside this country, right? Are the monsters collectors. They're the parliamentarians, right? Who don't make laws to give people them no type of different mindset, right? And then they also the judiciary, right?
Well,
right? They are the real monsters in my view, Dwight, right? Because who's supposed to be protecting us from the monsters when we have monsters running the country? How they supposed to work?
That's a bit of a stretch, and people need to take responsibility here and just be
yes,
decent.
People need to take responsibility, Dwight. But see, we are people in charge of the country.
Yeah,
so
but
when people do not take
no, you cannot use that. Let's not mix these up. I mean, this is somebody who is in a position who's supposed to be protecting a child.
Right.
Just because you have horrible leaders doesn't mean that you have that you can use that as an excuse to be a demon. No,
Dwight. Here's what I'm saying to you, Dwight. Here's what I'm saying. When we find cases like this, right, and we bring a we supposed to be civil to know that this ain't the only potential case of this matter. So what we can do, we supposed to be trying to make the people who hide, who we find out doing this type of stuff, we have to give them something to think about.
So you're saying the lawmakers should make tougher sentences, make it a...
Dwight,
okay.
because Dwight, every year we having the same issues, and that's because ain't nobody really what is the final outcome for their situation, Dwight? Ain't nobody scared.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I hear you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, I mean, there was the case we told you about yesterday with the father who was grooming his daughter after his wife died. Right? You remember that? And all the horrible things he did, and he was sentenced, and of course he's appealing it and able to find a lawyer who will represent him. So, I mean, there's a lot of blame that we could point fingers to, right? You're entitled to, you're supposed to have a lawyer. But I mean, I don't know how certain lawyers.
No, you could represent yourself, right?
I would. Because I don't know.
If you can't find a lawyer,
and it should be very hard for you to find a lawyer
your case
with a case like that, right? Like you're going to represent this guy? Wow. Woo. Okay, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
He says he's innocent.
He's what?
Strachan along with Chester and you, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Dwight, when a crime being done in our country, we have the right to know who had done it, who did it.
Within reason,
That's
yes.
our rights.
Within reason.
We don't hide anything.
It's to protect the victim. Do you care about the victim at all? Do you care about protecting the victim?
going to be in good care because...
How? Where? In this country?
Because of the social white people.
Please stop. Please, I can't allow you to continue. Stop it. Stop it. There are people around here who were 5 when things happened to them, and people are still while they're in their 50s and 60s pointing at them. Remember when they were? So no, you know better than that.
They love to bring it up, boy. I don't know why.
No, they'll never live that down. You got to think about the victim. Your mob mentality is not going to save that victim. It'll only make it worse. I think we should not talk about this anymore. Let's move on. No coercion from China. For more on this, take a listen to this report from our Vani Katut.
Amid concerns raised by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who urged Caribbean leaders to ensure they are not vulnerable to privacy and security risks and exploitation by malign actors, Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas, Yan Zhairong, insisted China is not a colonialist, but rather a true friend of Latin America and the Caribbean.
As the world's second largest economy and also a key engine of global South, China does not coerce, does not threaten, does not sanction or invade others. And China was not and is not a colonializer, but a trustworthy friend and a long-term cooperation partner for LAC countries. So in its relations between China, and Bahamas and LAC countries, we have always been upholding the principle of mutual respect.
She says Bahamians have asked her the true purpose of China's investments in the Bahamas.
This kind of friendship is not targeted at any third party and not to exclude any third party and not to harm any third party, right? So let me elaborate a little bit on this question because I think this is I know that this question has been in many Bahamians' minds. Yeah. So I think basically, many Bahamian people ask me in the past, what is the real purpose of China to try to be good friend with Bahamian? What is the purpose of your investment? What is the purpose of you, showing this kind of friendship to us? So to put it, I think I can have a very short and simple answer to that, very direct. That is, to make another friend and to make another partner.
The Bahamas and China have enjoyed diplomatic relations since May 23, 1997, a milestone officials will celebrate together this week. She noted that during the recent China-CELAC summit, officials announced a $9.2 billion credit line for Latin American and Caribbean countries' development. Ambassador Yan also revealed a significant grant for the Bahamas for projects to be agreed upon.
In the coming months, China will provide another significant amount of free assistance to the Bahamas. The grant will be used on projects to be agreed upon by the two governments.
She once again defended China's record in the country, pointing to the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium Airport Gateway project, the Point, the British Colonial Hotel, and assistance rendered during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think this kind of relationship, harms no one. And I think that, no matter whether it's Bahamas or China, we have the right and we also have the wisdom to choose with whom to be our friends and with whom to be our trading partners.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Toot.
Okay. So they heard it earlier. A caller says they only care about themselves. They certainly look out for their people whenever they are doing contracts and stuff. But what do you think? And this was also interesting, related. Approval for the hospital loan in final stages. Why did I think this was a lot further along? But apparently it's... So they already broke ground, did they not?
I don't remember.
Didn't? No? But anyway, I don't know how we do things around here. Well, maybe I'm mixing it up with the work they had to do to remediate all the issues there. But anyway, so this is not quite finished. Our Latanya Roberts
they
writing
said it's
about
finished
that.
on our side. She
Finished
said it's
on
our
the
side.
Bahamian side,
Right.
but
We
the
just waiting for
Chinese
China
have some more
say,
to do.
Yes, we'll give you the money.
If you missed that, so the Chinese ambassador said that the loan for the specialty new hospital is in the final stages. She said, quote, "It's in the final stage of internal approval from the Chinese side. I must say that from the Bahamian side, you have already fulfilled all the materials and things required, so now the ball is in our court. We need to speed up the approval process." Plus, she noted that there will be some doctors coming from Hunan province to perform eye surgeries at Princess Margaret Hospital. Okay, so let's get your reaction to all of that. This is, we can imagine, done to counter what was said by Marco Rubio, Secretary of State for the U.S., and the meeting that he had with Caribbean leaders and what he warned them about, especially China. And some other things have been said, maybe from the chargé d'affaires here. But how do you feel? How do you feel about it? What do you say? Do you still think we're in the middle of a football match between these two giants? Or should we be maximizing our relationship with both to benefit the most? Just as a puzzled look on his face.
Yeah, because why shouldn't we be?
Why shouldn't we be what?
Friends with everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Except.
It's a long list. There's a long list. But yes, continue with what we're doing.
Well, it's, I always find this posture from the U.S. a little strange. Like, do they gather up their private sector and tell them these kinds of things about China?
Yeah, they do. Every day on the news, it's something I like. Aren't y'all like? So what are you?
Well,
just frenemies because all your factories are there. What's going on?
I understand that Trump is trying to change that right now, a little bit,
to make it.
It's difficult to change the amount of business they do.
Oh, that part. Okay,
but you almost cannot escape it. The world almost cannot escape it.
Well, every commercial is warning that prices are going to go up soon,
right?
And buy now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of scary.
So but like you said, frenemy. How does that relationship even
really weird.
Live? Right?
Because some of the rhetoric is really awful.
Does China need to do business with the U.S.? I don't know.
Yes. Everybody needs everybody. Everybody needs everybody.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
But the language is crazy.
But to tell other countries when your country is one of the largest consumers of Chinese goods
and most dependent
and most indebted, to tell other countries these things is very strange to me. So I don't know.
Wow. All right, let's go back to the phone lines, and we've got a lot of your text messages coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning to both of you. How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Good.
In 1274 and 1281, China attempted to invade Japan. China invaded Myanmar, Korea, India, Tibet, and Vietnam. And currently they have the Uyghurs. They're trying to turn them into Chinese. They're taking their whole culture from them. I don't know what this lady is saying, but probably she's not a student of history.
Now, I think they mean since the revolutions, the Chinese Communist Party, that part of China. So that's since the...
Oh, so the other part was in China.
Well, that was before the revolution. And
that's what she said. She said before the revolution.
I suspect that's what she means.
But what are they doing to the Uyghurs right now? Right now, and they're attempting to annex Japan.
Not
right
Japan.
now.
You mean Taiwan?
Taiwan?
Yeah, Taiwan.
They want it all. China is attempting to invade, and they had a little skirmish in India right now on the border.
They do have a conflict with India, yes.
Yeah, so what is
But
she
that's
saying?
disputed. That's disputed territory. So everybody, and India has lots of disputed territory. But so I mean, there are nuances with the words. You got to pay attention. But I hear you. But that was pre the Chinese Communist Party. Perhaps that's what we're talking about there.
From the China now.
Well, you can't hold them accountable for the dynasties before, I guess is what they're saying. Perhaps.
Oh, I see. So once you change your dynasty, then you're a different individual.
Well.
And all of your
I'm sure the UK would have something to say about that.
Colonialists too. French. I mean,
right. A lot of Europe would have something to say about that. We're not those people anymore.
Okay.
Right.
And now I understand how you students of history see history. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Well,
I mean, if we continued to hate everybody for their past, where would we
People
be?
do. People do.
We can hate them, but
People
we still
do.
gotta do business with them, right? She says they're not colonialists.
No, not modern China.
In the way that colonialists operated back in the day.
Indeed.
They do things differently. Though some things look the same. In some countries.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
African countries.
Dwight,
what?
Honesty are not being displayed by you.
Okay. Again, if you want to humiliate people who've been through enough, that's just a policy you have. If you want to find out who it is, go by the courts and sit down and listen and see the people. But we're trying to protect the victims. I notice. Anyway.
I don't know why you say honesty, but anyway.
I mean, yeah, you'd want to know, I'm sure. but that is
Who would
to
wanna
protect.
know?
These people. That's the second caller today,
That's akin to gossip. What did the Bible say about gossip?
right?
What did the Bible say
I didn't
about
want to
gossip?
say it, but it really is.
It is akin to gossip. I don't know what y'all love people business. Stay out of people business. What'd your boy say?
But the thing is,
what Frankie say when they was in power? Spend the first half of the year minding my business. The second half of the year staying out of people's business.
But the thing is, there are all kinds of people being abused right now, and everybody seems to know it. Oh yeah, he just beat her. You know this, but no one's doing anything
nobody's
about
saying
it.
anything. Yeah.
So what do you want to know this
They're
for?
not doing the right
Just
thing.
for what?
They're not doing the right thing with the information they have.
It's sick.
Yeah, you people are sick.
Yeah, you people are sick. Okay. What's now? What have I done now? Watch this. This is going to be a crazy morning. We will need Bristol by the time they get here. Say, you have the nerve to talk about who's sick? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning to your host.
Good morning.
I'm always interested and intrigued when the U.S. State Department take these kinds of a shot at the Bahamas. I'm one of those Bahamians who make no apologies for the fact that America has not been a straight-up friend of the Bahamas. There are lots of things that low-hanging fruit in the Bahamas that America could have been a good player with the Bahamas on and has not. I start with the simple fact that the U.S. State Department says to the average Bahamian student and parent, if you want to study in the United States, you would have to have no less than a year of tuition upfront before you can be granted a U.S. visa. That is a requirement that the American government does not have to impose on the Bahamian people for us to have access to an American educational institution. Secondly, no other country in the world has benefited from the athleticism of the Bahamas than America. But China had to come here and build a stadium, both a basketball and a track and field stadium.
Well,
That's
I think the basketball was Taiwan, but okay. Mm-hmm.
So my point is that when you sit down and you do a real audit of, this whole, these statements, I apologize for the ambulance going by. I'm sitting in my car. It upsets me because that's just a small snippet. I remember when the Defense Force needed vessels. America donated the vessels that they had condemned was no longer worthy of being used in their Coast Guard, but was good enough for our Bahamian men and women to work on. I just believe that Marco Rubio, for example, they absorb a lot of our nurses into the United States, but was instead of coming and saying, how can we work to ensure that the Bahamas have a viable consistency of medical professionals, the only thing they show up to do was to criticize, granted that there was things to be looked at the process, but they became a critic rather than, help bring solution to the table. And, I admire the Bahamian government for their ability over the years to have played this dance with America, because I couldn't have done it. I would have not been as diplomatic as the various prime ministers have been with when they opened their mouth, because there's a lot of hypocrisy in it. I close by saying this, that several callers said earlier that the Bahamas government should have the right to make friends with whichever country they want to make friends with. And I think the time has come for America to put up more or shut up, because I'm a Bahamian who's really tired of them trying to dictate what we should do and not do, and they're not living up to the standard that they're talking. Their talk is way bigger than what they're prepared to do for the Bahamian people.
Wow.
That's my
okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Although last week at the Grand Lucayan signing, was it a signing? That was mentioned quite a bit. Like, look what we're doing. See, this is American companies. We're coming here to save Freeport. Kind of paraphrasing a bit there, but that definitely was noted.
I would not go as far as that caller.
Mm-hmm.
He went very far. to say that the U.S. hasn't done or is not doing enough. For the mere fact, I got friends in Trinidad who cannot get a U.S. visa. I got friends in Jamaica who cannot get a U.S. visa. They rarely do that to us.
Yeah.
And they have pre-clearance
And
here.
pre-clearance is amazing, isn't it?
Listen, there's the relationship that they keep with us.
Yeah.
Probably because we're so small.
And close.
Mm-hmm. I'd say be thankful for the things that you have from your neighbors in some instances. You know, you would understand why he mentioned the school thing, why you have to have so much money. I think it's weird, but you could understand.
And I think that's why we really, really need an ambassador, right? Because some of these issues...
To lobby against some of these things. Yes, absolutely.
To help us to not have to do certain things. And perhaps you could relax this or do this instead, something like that. So not having an ambassador has hurt in quite
But I would
a
never
number of
say
ways.
carte blanche, they've not been a good friend.
Yeah.
Or treated us...
That's anger from what they're hearing.
Of course,
yeah,
of
I
course,
guess.
of course.
This is some really interesting points here. Listen to this text. When China's statements come across as reasonable while the U.S. appears aggressive, it's a clear sign that the world is in a troubling state. And the U.S. wants to take Greenland and Canada, right? While China's saying...
Oh, maybe that's why they mentioned that they don't invade countries. I didn't get that slight.
We haven't even invaded Taiwan, which we think is our own. Look at that. But yeah. Oh, man, that's something else, eh? Wow.
I didn't pick up that slight till they mentioned it.
We'll get back to your text messages in just a bit. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
John basically said everything I wanted to say, but sometimes I wonder if the Bahamian wants the Bahamas to be a sovereign country, because everything the country does, women look over their shoulder what the big USA can say. He wanted to do a Petro-Carib deal with Venezuela. We asked, he said, oh, Chavez is a dictator, what the U.S. can say. Now, Citgo, Venezuelan company, they own gas stations throughout the United States. And the America don't have the problem about that. And we always looking over our shoulder what the U.S. can say. We recruit nice from Cuba. They call it exploitation. The U.S. exploit. The U.S. moved their big Boeing company to Mexico because they don't want to pay U.S. citizens minimum wage, federal minimum wage. They go to Mexico where they could build their military parts using workers for 50 cents a dollar a day. That's exploitation. It is no difference. But it seems like, if I may, I think Bahamians are Uncle Tom. Every decision the government make when it make it with China, we worrying what the U.S. going to say. And the U.S. been in Andros, exploiting Andros and that Ortec underwater testing center. They won't even put a field hospital with military tent. They won't even put that in Andros. They want to donate a fire truck. And we worrying what the United States going to say. And look, we have to be a sovereign nation and make our decision in our best interest of our country. The U.S. is not going to help us build any hospital or give us any loan at a 2% rate. So that's what we have to think about as Bahamians. And that is my contribution this morning.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
It doesn't seem like we're worrying about what the U.S. is saying about China. So,
well, sure.
Money, son.
Although I think we dodged a bullet with the Venezuela thing, though. So yeah.
But also, you have to understand companies and big business and how they operate when you try to take something away from them. Yeah. I mean, the steel companies in the U.S. almost destroyed our shipping with this USTR trade thing that recently, because they want to build more ships in the U.S. So they're going to sanction the shipping companies for using Chinese-built vessels.
Yeah,
that's kind of
put on hold.
We dodged that bullet,
Shove,
but
right?
that's kind of crazy in how business works, though.
It's scary. It's scary. A few more calls before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning, Chester. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, good morning.
You know, Mr. Rubio's boss has revoked a lot of the international aid that they were giving to countries. They've withdrawn from quite a number of international organizations in order to save monies and so-called put Americans first. So they're thinking about themselves. So we need to think about ourselves. Okay, if somebody's offering you something, I mean, I think at age 53 years, 52 years old, you should be able to make decisions for yourself, right? According to Chrissy Love, Father Thompson say, you don't catch yourself, you don't get sense until you're 40. We're 52 now. So we should be able to determine our future. We're a sovereign nation, and we decide who we want to be friends with. It seems like America is reverting to their 19th century policy of the Monroe Doctrine, trying to beat, having this big stick policy and wanting countries just to acquiesce to her just because she is America. But that isn't going to work in this 21st century, Mr. Donald Trump. So, Bahamas, we have to be able to stand on our own. We have to be able to, to say, listen here, we are man, okay? We are men, and we have the right to determine our own destiny according to our Constitution. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Another call. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning. How are you guys?
Doing well.
I think we should be grateful for our alliance with the United States of America. I think America has been very helpful to the Bahamas. Pre-clearance, many people may not know, but that is very, very important. Many Bahamians have benefited from, visas that the U.S. has granted us to travel to the United States. A lot of students have been able to go to public schools over there too, through different grants and various other things. And before Obama dismantled the wet foot, dry foot policy under his governance, many Bahamians were, able to achieve what you call citizenship, So, I think college needs to be a little
how they did it
on the
through there.
United States of America. And I think that a government should align with those countries that have the same governing style. We are democracy. China is a communist country. And nothing wrong with that. But I think when you have more in common, those are the ones that you try to work with, right? More. I mean, in my opinion. So don't come down so hard on the United States. A lot of our athletes had the privilege of training over there before, and rose to higher heights, So we have a lot to be grateful for.
Okay. All right. So what do you think about the relationship with China, though? What do you say? We shouldn't?
I think we should be friendly with all countries, but we also have to keep in mind, that we are democracy too, and we have to be careful, not everything is free,
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's get to the text messages. You have something to say, Chester?
At the Red House.
What now?
And America is still allowing people to travel on police records. How do you like that?
Isn't that
lovely?
Very special?
It's very special.
Yes.
And if you've ever come from another country and had to do pre-clearance in the U.S., you'd understand how grateful you should be about that.
You mean, post-clearance, once you get off the plane, that's what you mean.
That's what I'm saying. You're grateful for our pre-clearance?
Yes, you'd be grateful for pre-clearance, yes.
If you ever have to do post-clearance.
Post, whatever I don't know what they call it. When customs, when you arrive, having to go through customs immigration.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, not pleasant.
No.
One more call? Yeah. Okay, caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Dwight, how are you?
Doing well.
Yeah, pre-clearance is very important to this country. There's no doubt about that. But what are we doing as far as representing the Bahamas and negotiating on the Bahamas? What can we offer the United States? It seems that we're really lacking negotiating skills. And foreign affairs, to me, ministers have to be more equipped to, hey, listen, we have this, we want to negotiate. You just can't expect the United States to come to you, what you need. You need to go and negotiate.
What's
You just can't
what's
sit here
five
and let
what's
people
what's
tell you
five
what to do.
things? What's 5 things you think we can offer?
No, we have natural. Okay, we have. I remember some time ago, Florida needed
Sand.
Tons and tons of sand
Right.
for the Florida coast, right? I'm sure we could offer sand. We
That
have
did
salts
happen.
here also.
Some
We
of
have
it.
minerals
That
here
did
also.
happen. That they did the sand. They removed lots of sand. It did happen.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm talking about negotiating billions and billions of dollars. I'm not talking about I'm talking about where we could really say we now have an income coming in from sand export to the United States. We need someone who could negotiate. The United States are saying, come here and say, oh, you need this, you need that. You go there and say, listen, this is what the deal is. We're in close proximity to your country. This is what we want to offer. These are the things that we need, and you got to negotiate.
Now, how do you know
I
that's
don't
not
think
happening?
I don't think we have a good negotiator.
I don't know if you can say that.
Well,
I don't,
I think I could do a better job. I can tell you that now. I'm very confident. I'm very confident about that.
I bet.
I can tell you that I'm Dwight. I travel in the United States, and I can tell you. But what are we doing? Come on, man, Dwight. If you want
Well, as
something-
you heard, the Charge, thank you for calling. The Charge said last week, which was surprising, she's met with every cabinet minister and she's had long discussions with them. I'm sure they told her what they need and what they're looking for. So this stuff is happening. Will all your dreams come true? I don't know. I don't know. But I mean,
Why do you want all your dreams to come true? from
yeah,
US
I mean
ferry?
that's kind of weird. Like, what are you doing? Almost, it sounds kind of prostitute-y.
It does. Like we on the side of the
yeah.
street knocking on car windows.
Oh my God, with a smudgy cloth, trying to. I could do this for you. you need your car wash. Let me stop. Wow, boy. Okay, let's read some text messages before we go to the news. This person says, I won't be able to get this image on my head for the rest of the show. What? Hey, I'm the Bahamas. Let me tell you what I can do for you. Wee. Oh, man. Okay.
Sign for investments.
Just pull him there with a boxer's hat. Y'all have beaches? Give me some beaches.
Got beaches for you?
Because
we can create
they
beaches.
give you a beach. Right there in Colorado.
All we got is beach.
Put a beach right in Colorado.
Salt water too?
Oh, man. Okay. This text says here, I've come to realize that there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of sexual deviants in our country. If you are in a group of men constantly sharing weird sexual images or speaking about women in odd, degrading ways, look sideways at the people you're spending time with. One of them is probably quite serious about the depravity. Oh, my. I'm positive I see one of my morning walks. I noticed this man just watching women. Yes, I know men look at women, but this was different. As to the situation that Papa mentioned, I doubly am concerned as why the man's name was excluded. I found him on a charge of touching a woman's breast. With the same person? Why would his name be shielded? You sure? The husband?
So,
or are you talking about something else? Anyway, but again, that's a different story. It's just an editorial choice. But I hear you. Man. Oh, boy. Oh, okay. Well, they're revealing some things. You think so? I don't think that's it. Texter. Anyway, this person is saying, I think we see things too late. From the announcement of the gift of the National Stadium, I said to a colleague, this is war. Really? Trump wants to invade Greenland. Go figure. Taiwan isn't history. Oh, boy, that's a lot of different things there.
A bunch of disjointed thoughts there.
Yeah, well. I don't agree with John. I think they're saying if you don't want to have the year tuition, don't go. Or if you don't have it, don't go. If you want the best ships, buy them yourself. Well, Hey, let's go to the news. We'll pick this up on the other side. This is an interesting Wednesday here. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Nassau, Bahamas.
Time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple. In your real-time traffic right now, we are expecting another hot day as a dry air mass supported by a stacked high-pressure system remains across the Western Caribbean. That pattern is going to continue into the evening hours as the surface ridge gradually weakens due to an approaching prefrontal trough. The likelihood of showers will begin to increase slightly across the northernmost islands in response to the approaching trough by late tonight into early tomorrow. But for the majority of the area, these current conditions are going to continue as stable atmospheric conditions maintain the summer-like conditions. The only change will be for the northernmost islands as that front meanders just north of the area from tomorrow, Thursday, heading into the weekend. And then the combination of surface troughing, lingering moisture, and an upper-level jet may provide some short-lived pops of showers and thunderstorms across the area during this period. The Western Caribbean ridge will strengthen once again across the area by the beginning of next week. So, it's going to be hot for the next few days, and the heat indices today will make you feel like it's in the mid-90s, and that will continue through the weekend. Everyone's being reminded to limit outdoor activities and take frequent breaks, drink plenty of water, and wear comfortable clothing. The UV indices are going to be very high as well, so you're asked to wear protective clothing, sunglasses, and sunscreen. For today, mostly sunny for most areas, with some cloudy intervals for the northern Bahamas during the afternoon hours. Mostly fair to partly cloudy tonight for the northern islands, but mostly fair for most areas tonight. Less than a 10% chance of showers today, but increasing to 10 to 20% chance by late tonight for the northernmost islands. Look for high temperatures around 90 Fahrenheit, but again, the heat index will make it feel like it's 96 Fahrenheit, 36 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 76, 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Thursday, for the extreme northern Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds turning partly cloudy to cloudy at night, a 10 to 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms by early afternoon hours for those islands. For the rest of us, the northwest, central, and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny to sunny, turning mostly fair at night. By Friday, partly cloudy with occasional cloudy periods for the extreme northern islands, partly sunny to sunny, turning mostly fair at night for the rest of the country. And Saturday, partly sunny to sunny, mostly fair at night for most areas. Pretty much the same for Sunday and Monday. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check also brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Walls looking a little owl. We'll swing by Sherwin-Williams Paints for a fresh coat of wow. Best customer service, bold colors, and bargain prices. They've got it all. Sherwin-Williams. Let's roll. Got to check of your traffic, brought to you by RBC. Reaching your goals happens here. In real-time traffic, Mile Butler Highway, a hot spot this morning. Heavy traffic from Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Queen's Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. Also seeing some heavy traffic on the JFK side of the six-legged roundabout. That's eastbound. And West Bay Street near Saunders Beach. Slow-moving traffic as you approach the roundabout with New Providence Highway. Traffic picks up again just east of Arawak Key near Nassau Street heading into downtown Nassau. Prince Charles Drive not looking pretty at all for you if you're heading westbound. Heavy traffic near the major intersections, but especially as you get closer to Beatrice Avenue and Soldier Road into Robinson Road, straight up to Old Trail if you're heading westbound. Soldier Road seeing issues near Windsor Place and just east of Old Trail. As you get closer to Taylor Street, you're going to be seeing slow-moving westbound traffic there and eastbound traffic near Windsor Place to Abundant Life Road. Then Eastern Road also busy for you near Fox Hill Road straight up to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. And pockets along Carmichael eastbound as you make your way toward Blue Hill Road. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your deals, your ideas happen here.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
When I'm walking down them rocky, narrow dirt roads with a basket of potatoes on my head. Oh, don't you worry, I come from down home. That's where the island folks bake their potato bread. They bake it down home. Outside.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be talking about the Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival. And later in business, it's Bristol Wines and Spirits, our monthly segment with them on this Wednesday morning. But we want to get through your text messages really quick before we take a break. Based on what we've been talking about all morning, we did briefly talk about this horrific case. Stepfather who has been sentenced to jail for 10 years for raping his stepdaughter and getting her pregnant. And but also talking about China, the press conference that the Chinese embassy had yesterday. They're saying they are not about coercion. They just want a friendly relationship with the Bahamas. Is it safe to say no strings attached? Is that what you got from that, Chester?
Sure.
And an update on the hospital that's planned for New Providence Highway. Okay, so we got a lot of your messages here. This person says here, good day. Empire is no longer won or lost through the sword, but through debt. The U.S. and China are playing the same game, lend countries money for projects that the people need. Eventually, the country will default on the loan, what now? And then give an ultimatum when the loan can't be repaid. We want to set up a base. We want your natural resources, and the indebted country suffers. Yikes. A good read Confessions of an Economic Hitman, then you will see the game that the U.S. and China and big corporations are playing. When we cannot repay the loan, they will take our carbon credits as payback, and that will be the legacy of our leaders. I'm editing a little bit there. This person says here, there's a song, the best of busyness in the line of business is to mind your business. I'm sure I'm messing up their text. Okay. I think the folks asking for names, this is back to the case, are thinking along the lines of a child sex offender registry where the offender is named. All right, so that's a little bit different, right? Because those will generally be people you don't know, and there'll be a pattern for the most part. Yes, a person's a child sex offender, but it's mainly because of the position, right? The fact that you are close to this person. I don't know if I'm making any sense there. It's slightly different from if these were not your relatives, your dependent, that's a different situation.
Right.
If you were targeting children, you were that's a little bit different.
Right.
But yeah. I get the point that they're making, but there is a much larger picture here, which is to protect the identity of the victim, who is a minor. Absolutely. And you can be upset about it if you want, but that's just, we're not going to do it. And no media house is going to do it. No respectable one is going to do it. It's a great idea to have the doctors from China come and deal with the eye issues, Bahamians. Lord knows we need this badly. Mm-hmm. This is why I like Trump the Great. Wow. He loves his country. The Chinese love China. Our lousy politicians hate this country and Bahamians. Wow.
What is Trump anyway?
Trump the Great. Get it right. This person is back to the case with the father. That man needs to be castrated, point blank.
Chemically or physically?
Oh, boy. The Bahamas needs to reduce its dependency on China and the U.S. Caribbean countries need to increase trade amongst themselves and with Central and South America. Presently, we are at risk because we are overly dependent on China and the U.S. Sadly, I think most of the world is overly dependent on, well, if it's sad, I don't know. Anyway, we are. Everybody is on the U.S. and China. Everybody. Ask that caller, I don't know which one, how many Chinese tourists come here and then how many American tourists come here. I take comfort in the fact that the U.S. cares about us enough to spend over $250 million on a new embassy here. This is great stuff for the Bahamas.
Yeah. It is.
Mm-hmm. It's I read that already. Yeah, it's people. The previous caller talking about the wet foot, dry foot. That definitely did not apply to the Bahamas.
No.
Not at all. That's not how Bahamians got citizenship. If they did, definitely couldn't do it that way. No way.
That only applied to one set of people.
Yeah, or if you're coming from a really oppressed nation, you might have been able to make a case for asylum or refugee status, but no.
It was only automatic for one set of people.
Yeah. When hurricane time comes, we must remember America is the obvious first to our rescue. And then they go on to say China does nothing for us. Oh, okay. Well. Boy. The Bahamas, as it relates to the U.S. and China, is like that one girl. This is going to go bad. This is going to go south. Go south quick.
Oh, boy.
That one girl that these two guys are competing for, trying to impress her. And just like most females, we should let them compete to our benefit.
And that didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
I didn't think it went well, though. What? If
that girl love a rich daddy with plenty money, maybe.
What?
I don't know.
What? I don't know.
I'm trying to help the
No,
analogy.
you're making it worse. If America could juke up Canada, their good friend, you'll better walk on the sidewalk close to China. They're not hypocrites. What you get is what you get. What you see is what you get. Oh, China? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. OMG, I'm loving the snark this morning. LOL. Okay.
I mean, how long is Trump going to be around for?
I can't read that. Okay.
Bad?
I don't know what to say.
Oh.
China uses incentives, enticement, and debt trap. Can the Bahamas, for example, show the income from the hospital that will service the hospital loan? More is being spent to repair the stadium than it costs to build it, but it's not your money. So, I mean, right, they're fixing it out of that's not supposedly not a cost to us. Garbage from the stadium diplomacy. Okay. All right. One final call, then we got to go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Dwight.
Hi,
and
good
good
morning.
morning to Chester.
Good morning.
Yes.
You know, China, they say China doesn't care or whatever that was that Texas said that you read. But I have a question. What gift has America given us? If you can tell us. Their embassy is not a gift to us. That's their own thing. What gift has they given us? in recent years.
Okay, see, this is going to get us down a very dirty, unnecessary road, right? Looking at this, they are our friends. They are there.
No, I didn't say they weren't. I didn't say they weren't. I'm just saying, because if you look at it, America and China does things for the same reason, but they do it differently. China come and tries to gift you stuff to achieve their goal. America would come and try to bully you to achieve their goal. But both of them are using us. We are a pawn in their game. That's all we are to them, both of them. But I do appreciate whatever they do for us. However, we are just a pawn in their game.
Okay. That's a sad way to look at it.
So that's almost all country-to-country relationships.
I mean, it's beneficial to them, sure, absolutely, to both countries. But it benefits us as well.
We think people in Israel being friendly for being friendly, sake.
Not countries.
Not countries.
Not necessarily. Not when they're close. I mean, when you're far away, yes.
Everybody want to know what you can do for them.
Almost everybody has a problem with the country closest to them.
And some people want to know
very strange.
when they going to get you.
This is a horrible text. China is P. Diddy, and we are like Cassie. What the?
Okay.
Complicated situations, abuse, and a need for acknowledgement.
Okay. And that wasn't even from our friend.
Hey, when we come back, we're talking about the Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival. Thank goodness that we're talking about that next. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Tell them you come from down home. You mustn't be ashamed. Some great names came from down home.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Hey! What's up? Alive Fiber NBA fans! Mark your calendars. Saturday, May 24th at Flamingo Gardens Park. Join us for an adrenaline-pumping three-point shootout and dunk contest. Enjoy your favorite food vendors, drinks, awesome prizes, and fun for everyone. Plus, we'll be announcing the winners of our NBA Sweepstakes live. Woo! It's showtime! Don't miss out. See you there. Visit Alive social media pages for more information.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use.
Mm-hmm.
So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Here's a price list of some of the roofing material we carry at Pinda Enterprises. 5/8 pressure-treated roofing ply starting at $36.68. Gray Select Water Shield, $134.20 a roll. Felt, 15 pounds, $16.50. 30 pound, $19.80. Owens, Corning Duration Shingles, and Certain Teed Landmark Shingles, $56.56 a bundle. Gallon of roof cement, $33.47. All sizes treated dimensional lumber. And of course, we have all nails and all screws. We have 5/8 sheetrock, $28.76. Half-inch sheetrock, $22.18. All prices include VAT.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again from the island that gives you mince mutton, okra soup, and of course flour cake and rake and scrape. It's the 26th annual Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival in beautiful Artistown, Cat Island, June 6th through 8th. We have acts such as Veronica Bishop,
He come here with the hands swinging.
Gino D, Stelito, Cupid, and of course our very own down-home guys like Lacido and the Boys,
I don't like no rigging and scraping in here.
Ophi and the websites, and much more in beautiful Artistown, Cat Island. June 6th through 8th. See you there.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Wake up and treat yourself to the breakfast you deserve with Wendy's new French toast sticks platter. 4 pieces of golden, crispy French toast sticks served with warm syrup, fresh cracked eggs, your choice of protein, and orange juice. It's sweet, savory, and everything your morning's been missing. Whether you dip, dunk, or just go all in, you'll never want to go back to your old breakfast routine. Better breakfast always starts at Wendy's.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
I was born on Cat Island. Some people work hard all week, but come Friday and Saturday, they go down to the old schoolhouse and dance to the Rake and Scrape band. I want you to meet some of them right now. My Gertie. Old lady, old woman, come here, gal. Go on the dresser, get that old comb, put on a piece of wax paper and blow it. Beep, 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 beep. Jeep Smith, go out there in the woodshed, get that old saw which is cut up wood with, get that old gabber knife out the kitchen and scrape that off. Head and belly, Lee's boy. Go outside, you know that goat we killed yesterday. Get that old Robin Hood, put drum cake. Nail that drum out and beat it. Yeah, boy.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And we are talking about the Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival. It's coming up here to tell us all about it. We are very happy to have back with us Sidney Isaacs. Good morning, sir. Always a pleasure.
Good morning, Bahamas. Good morning, Cat Island. Good morning, Cat Islanders throughout the Bahamas. And good morning, Rake and Scrape enthusiasts around the world.
Hey. All right, so just put the date out there really quick. We'll keep mentioning that over and over. But
the date is the Labor Day weekend, okay. June 6th through 8th.
Coming up really, really soon.
In Artistown, Cat Island, the birthplace of Rake and Scrape.
All right. Still opportunities to find a place to stay.
We are one of the amazing things is one of our backers in this venture is the management from the Ministry of Tourism, their People to People program. So, the best way right now, because all the accommodations are primarily gone, and you may be lucky if you're persistent to get in on cancellations. That's pretty rare. So, We encourage Cat Islanders, friends of Cat Islanders, to connect with Cat Islanders on the island, call them, see if they could put them up in a room, in a corner, on a couch. However, because the purpose of going there ain't to sleep or to hang out, but to enjoy the Rake and Scrape Festival. Fortunately for us, over the years, we have developed a site that's exclusively designed to accommodate this event and this event only, even though we share with our various partners in the island. When you come there, everything that you need to survive is on that park during the day and especially at night when the show begins.
Okay, so what does that mean? Does that mean that I could come and camp out there?
You can camp out in proximity there if you have a tent. We will encourage you to do that.
Yeah,
but you'll find restrooms available at the park. We are in proximity of the ocean. And so you could walk and just go to a public well, a public pump, and just throw some water over you, like how they say, a cowboy. And when you come to the park, you got the food, you have the drinks, and you have the show.
Have people done that? Have they been
all the time
camping out tents?
Well, not in proximity of the site, but you have persons who come and they camp out in various yards, both for Rake and Scrape and regatta.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty
that
cool.
happens.
Yeah.
I was couch surfing regatta time. I can tell you that.
All right.
Sleep outside.
We'll get back to that in a bit. All right. So Rake and Scrape. Let's talk about it. Of course, I think everybody knows Cat Island and the connection there.
Yes.
But for those who might be like, well, what's the difference between Rake and Scrape and Gombe and junk canoe and some of the other forms of expression we have in the country? What do you say to them?
Well, like I always say, when you can define Rake and Scrape, firstly, by the instrumentation involved in it. And basically, that is how the genre got its name, due to the main instrument to give it its name, which is the scraping of the saw. So it includes the saw scraping, that is the Cat Island ingenuity in there to replace presumably other African instruments that the slaves brought over with them that wasn't available to us over time. And of course, we as Africans, we never ever abandon our main communicative device, which is the goatskin drum. And it was first stretched over what they call a hogshead. That would be a wooden barrel that's used to age rum. And later on, that transitioned into the oil barrel, the small oil barrel. And we borrowed the accordion from our slave masters with their European influence, because basically it was one of the instruments that would be handed down to the slaves for their own personal use and celebration after it was basically damaged. And, we, over time, incorporated that into back before the genre got a name. It was referred to as jumping dance. And I always tell people when I come to do this promotion, the name derived from a very popular Bahamian musical enthusiast and music historian Charles Carter. And back in the 60s, he hosted the Young Bahamian Show and had the privilege of going to Cat Island with Edmund Moxie, who was there to seek out talent for Jumbe Village. Right. And when he came back on his show and played the music that he recorded in Cat Island, he made the comment that this sound like raking and scraping, and the name stuck. So hence we got a name for the genre, thanks to Charles Carter. And from then on, jumping dance became rake and scrape. And due to enthusiasts of the craft like Ernest Lacido Stubbs, Phil Stubbs, Lacido and the boys, Tony McKay, the genre built in reputation over the years. And in '99, we decide we're going to pay homage to this genre that clearly defines a unique sound in the Bahamian music space. And the difference, getting back to your question, in Gombe, it's still a mystery to me, okay? I think it was an invention to promote tourism at one point, but no one can clearly define instrumentation in Gombe or what type of sound. And of course, Jonkanu, we all know. Jonkanu is a rhythmic, upbeat, fast-paced street music. And a number of persons, starting with Tony McKay, tried to slow down and make it a commercial art form and put it on album with music. The Bay of the Bahamas got its name from Tony McKay's music, talking about the sound of the cowbell.
Right.
So collect, and from the song, they rush in. And thereafter, Tony McKay was followed up by Tyrone Fitzgerald, a.k.a. Dr. Off, and then persons like Bahaman, Sweet Emily, and a few others. But then the Junkanoo groups reclaimed their space and just brought back Junkanoo with Roots in the Morning, and it's went back to the Junkanoo space from there.
Yeah. So are there young people doing rake and scrape today?
Most definitely, man. One of the things that the Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival pushes and promote every time, year-round even, in the space in between Rake and Scrape, we have, with the help of Diana Hamilton, a Rake and Scrape accordion camp, because it is the most difficult instrument to learn in Rake and Scrape. So we have a camp. Sometimes the camp is held in Nassau. Sometimes it's held the last one was held at Zion Baptist Church in Nassau. And it's aimed at encouraging young people, but most of the time it's inundated with the older folks wanting to.
I kind of would love to learn the accordion.
I was going to say.
And you don't have to encourage or teach any youngster on that particular island how to play the accordion. Most of them learn by ear, and definitely they were born with the rake and scrape, the saw and the drums in their blood.
So you got a ton of young accordion players in Cat Island?
We have a good bit, and as they grow older, they come to Nassau. But when we have one activity on the stage or the rake and scrape that encourages young people to get involved, it's called Battle of the Bands. You would see that these young enthusiasts, and also the senior Battle of the Bands, which includes anyone that has graduated from the age of 17 and older to participate, these persons can hold their own with all of the instrumentation involved in rake and scrape.
Wow, where do you buy an accordion from? In the Bahamas?
Basically, we source them through, and I'm not an expert on this, but I think you have music stores in Nassau that would sell the accordion.
Okay.
They're not cheap. Through our partners in Rake and Scrape, we are always sourcing them and providing them free of charge to various community activities and high schools
Nice.
we have all age schools in Cat Island.
But is that a special treat for people who come to Cat Island to see Rake and Scrape? Because I can't tell you the last time I've seen a Rake and Scrape ensemble that had an accordion.
It sounds like Chester really need to get back to the source of his paternal roots.
I agree.
His maternal roots. Yeah, maternal roots, right. Which is Cat Island, because this is a common sight that can happen impromptu at any bar, regatta site, club in Cat Island. So it's cool. There. We have a number of persons there is a band that is performing for both gospel night and during the secular night. And the band consists of persons from one end of the island to the next playing various instrumentation. Of course, the saw and the drums and the accordion is a part of it. And so when you come to Cat Island, whether it be for regatta, rake and scrape, or any other holiday, you will encounter rake and scrape.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah. So again, when is the accordion camp? When
we haven't finalized that as yet, so that is a project still in the work because it requires a lot of sponsorship. I'm dealing with persons, and so the person who is dealing with that, I don't have the authorization or the knowledge to say when that will come on.
Let us know, because I want to. All right, so
you may have to come to Cat Island.
Yeah,
to learn that
okay.
accordion.
All right, well, there are much worse places to have to go, right? All right, so let us know about this year's festival. What can we expect?
Well, this year's festival is going to be awesome as usual. Of course, we, the committee itself, the celebration starts with the gospel night. Gospel music is sometimes the foundation of most of the persons who participate in secular music. And when you talk about Cat Island and their gospel contribution to the musical culture of this country, it is second to none. And basically, we carry it especially with the a cappella gospel. A cappella, of course, is harmonizing without music, without instrumentation. And thus far, we're the only island that can boast of the commercial space with a cappella gospel artists, from the oldest in the land, like Phil Stubbs would say, the Region Bells, BBC singers, New Dynamic Features, the Ramming Brothers. You know, these are all a cappella gospel group that came out of the necessity for us to have that type of music in our space, due to the fact that Cat Island was slow in developing. And when other islands had the luxury of organs and instrumentation in their religious space, we had to do the four-part harmonizing.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So our first night, which is the Thursday night, it's open to the gospel and the Christian community, the gospel community in Cat Island. We give them full autonomy for that night.
And that's Thursday,
and
June
that's
5th.
Thursday night. And that is led by Pastor Tito Thurston from Cat Island. And that night they will have the usual gospel performances. The guest artists appearing will be Minister OJ. Other surprise guests, with many of the local church choirs, singers, and soloists, including the Preacher's Son, backed by one of the bands in Cat Island that's both secular and gospel. They call themselves the Unpredictables. There will be Country George, TOG Praise singers, the Cat Island Praise, and many more. And there will be prizes, giveaways to 10 lucky persons for Gospel Night. The proceeds for Gospel Night goes back into the religious community, so they have full autonomy and full control of the park. So the gate and whatever happens that night, however they do, because churches usually have the collection pan out, So that I would want to encourage Cat Islanders and persons who are on the island to please participate in Gospel Night.
Yes.
Just like the secular night, they need your support. They need your financial contribution by paying to go into the site. And so that this could improve what we have to offer for Rake and Scrape in both the gospel and secular space.
Excellent. All right. So that's Thursday, June
And that's
5th.
Thursday, June. And of course, Friday is the official opening.
Okay.
That will be where dignitaries such as the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and Minister of Tourism and local officials will be there for the opening. We have a Cat Island Youth marching band that is going to be a part of the opening ceremonies. They're pretty awesome. And on Friday night is when we have the Youth Battle of the Bands, and that is in line with encouraging young people to participate, love, and get involved in what I would consider one of the most significant aspects of your culture, which is music and what it has to say about the time and space in which you live.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Friday, and then Saturday.
And on Saturday night, oh boy, on Saturday night, I don't want to say which artist is performing on which night. I'm going to leave that a mystery, because when you advertise some people get selective. So I'm going to say this to the listening public.
Show up every night.
Show up, because trust creative with our show this year. For the first time in our 26 years of existence, we find ourselves competing with about 9 different activities in the same time space.
Yeah.
Okay? And then those are not small things. Those are not small organizations. You're talking about South Andrews Homecoming. You're talking about Long Island, Eleuthera, Baritari, Carnival, But
that's that weekend as well.
In all of that, I'm proud to say that one of our partners, Bahamas Air, has already put on extra flights, and there may be no to little seats. So if you're interested, lock it in. Outside of that, Our next major sponsors, we have to mention these sponsors because they are a key part of our success. So it's both the mail boat and the Lady Roslyn. The mail boat will be putting on a party boat to get to Cat Island. And what we do encourage people to facilitate you being on Cat Island. Some people actually just live in their cars and they go and they freshen up at someone's house, or they just go swimming and just rinse. And so one of the things you do, and this is believe it or not, this might sound strange for Nassauians, but this is part of the regatta, homecoming, and festival culture, So they would put their vehicles on the boat and just have a space all theirs and be able to traverse the island left, right, and center. And there's a lot of Cat Island is the most spiritual island in the archipelago, the most cultural island in the archipelago, one of the most beautiful and historically significant island in the archipelago. So there's never a dull moment in between the space of you waking up in the morning and preparing to go to the show at night. So it's never a dull moment. And there's a number of places where in Cat Island you will always find good food.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yes.
I have a question though. So when you say live in your vehicle, you're talking about people with Suburbans and Explorers, not Passos and notes, right?
People with Passos, notes, and
what?
And fits.
You just need a place to
You better be fit.
It ain't about sleeping.
Okay.
Understand the culture of regatta, Dwight. It's non-stop partying. Okay, so I don't know. We need to get him.
Yeah, you need to go.
in his culture.
Not the car
it sounds like he is 100% Nassau and never.
No, but not the car thing. I mean, I don't know, but the whole weekend in the car.
You don't come to the island or the family island when you are partying to be bougie. It's time to get loose.
I hear you.
All right, it's time to put all inhibitions aside, and you libate, you gyrate, you rotate, and
go to the beach and rinse off.
And you sleep on the plane or the boat coming back to Nassau.
I hear you.
And you recover.
That's the vacate.
Yeah, exactly. You recover afterwards.
Sounds pretty cool. All right, so what do you know about, you said the flights? There might not be many left.
The flights, definitely Western Air, I know, will be putting on extra flights. So I would encourage persons to just hound them with the questions. How it works with this particular time space. There are a lot of other places and destinations these airlines have to service. But if it's economically and logistically feasible, they do put on extra flights. So I would encourage persons to just call these persons, call the mail boats that I mentioned. Yeah. That would be Cape Mail, Lady Roslyn. Call Western Air, call Bahamas Air, and make your way down to Cat Island and experience what we would call a necessary part of your immersion into culture. It is something that everyone should participate in at least once in their adult life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other?
It's all Mecca.
Any tickets that
you should call it a pilgrimage. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So get the visitors involved too.
They definitely. Yeah. Most of the accommodations are a lot of the accommodations are occupied by visitors. Yeah. One of the things that the family island is most famous for now, before there were Airbnbs, you have second homeowners who bought. And so they usually, if they're not participating, they would let their homes out for Airbnbs, mostly to foreigners who know of this event or who they have told about the event. And the second home market is an amazing sponsors and participation in the Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival, more so than older established events on the calendar for the island. So we want to say thank you to those persons.
So there's still opportunities with that, you think?
I would not discourage anyone from trying, because every year there are cancellations. So if you're really interested, get on the phone, call a friend, call someone from the island and find out, go do some research and see if we could get sorted out.
Yeah. And when you get there, are there any tickets, or you just come to the festival?
No, the tickets are $25 a night. and you come and you purchase those at the festival site. You can pre-purchase too if you want to purchase a package for the 2 nights and not have to stand online every night to purchase a ticket. You can do that. Just come to the site and speak to any one of the responsible committee members, and they'll direct you as to how you can do that. Or you can come any night and just toe the line, and the line moves pretty rapidly, and just purchase your tickets and come on in.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Excellent. Excellent. It sounds like it's going to be a blast as always. And you say now in your what, 26th?
26, yeah, not counting COVID omission.
Right. This is amazing stuff. Sidney Isaacs, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Before I go, I want to say a special shout out to our number of sponsors, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we want to thank persons like Epic Battery, Community Hardware, Shanna Cove, Caribbean Bottling Company, Quality Home Center, Alvernia Foods, of course, our platinum sponsors, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Ministry of Agriculture, Commonwealth Brewery, and other persons such as, like I say, Pirates Well Investment, Mailboat, Lady Roslyn, Curly's Beach Resort, one of the newest resorts to open, formerly known as Sammy T's. So, we have a down-home boy doing things there to enhance the room space, accommodation space for Cat Island. So, there you have it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Labor Day weekend. Very long weekend.
Yes.
So you will have Monday.
You'll have Monday to recuperate.
Right?
Yes. You could either recuperate on the island or catch an early flight back and recuperate in Nassau. Excellent. And you don't have to go to work until Tuesday. So this is an added plus for the new persons who want to participate.
Absolutely. It's going to be a blast.
Don't know how to.
How long is the boat excursion? Is that 24 hours? Or they go
No, but you mean to get there?
Yeah.
You're talking about 12 hours.
No, I mean, are they staying for?
Yes, they stay for the duration. So the boat will come in on Friday morning, and then they leave on Sunday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Sunday afternoon, sorry.
So you get on that on Thursday, and you'll be there.
And you'll be there for Friday.
Morning. Yeah, great stuff.
Thursday night, you'll be there Friday morning, and you leave Sunday evening, get in Monday morning.
Excellent. Yes. Sidney Isaacs, thanks again. Cat Island Reagan Scrape Festival. Labor Day weekend.
Yes,
right.
Labor Day weekend.
Great stuff. All right, we're going to break for news and be back with business and Bristol Wines and Spirits. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Since 1989, Joker's Wild Comedy Club has been the heart of laughter in the Bahamas. But now an era is coming to a close.
Get ready for my guy, comedian Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson, along with featured comedian Kirk Green and house comedian Naughty. Don't miss your last chance to experience the magic. May 20th to the 25th, Joker's Wild Comedy Club. Admission $50. Get your tickets now at Atlantis Bahamas /events.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, March 21st, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And just a bit, we're going to be talking with Bristol Wines and Spirits, our monthly series with them. But before we get to that, let's get to your morning business report. Your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The once dormant Bahamas Intellectual Property Office has been given new teeth after the government signed 5 international treaties with the World Intellectual Property Organization, the WIPO. The Office of the Attorney General, in a statement yesterday, saying that the signings are an historic advancement for the nation's intellectual property framework. AG's office saying it has been 50 years since the Bahamas International Property Office, BIPO, has been a functioning body. The Bahamas is now party to the Budapest Treaty, the Nice Agreement, Vienna Agreement, Trademark Law Treaty, and the Singapore Treaty. Obviously, the Attorney General saying that the country will also sign on to the Patent Cooperation Treaty, the Hague Agreement, the WIPO Copyright Treaty, and the WIPO Performances and Phonographs Treaty, and the Rome Convention. The details on all of this in today's Guardian Business section. Chairman of Sunshine Holdings, Sir Franklin Wilson, telling Guardian Business that notwithstanding the deficit hole the government has to climb out of to hit its budget target, the economy's foundation is exceptionally strong, despite the Davis administration running a $343.3 million deficit for the current fiscal year. Wilson responding to comments made by Senator Michael Halkitis, Economic Affairs Minister, who claimed that the government will hit its budget target by attaining budget surpluses for the remainder of the 24-25 fiscal year. Halkitis told the Tribune upon the revelation of the Ministry of Finance's monthly fiscal summary report for February that the government had a budget surplus of $58.6 million for February, and that he fully expects the Davis administration to hit its deficit target of $69.8 million budget surplus by hitting consecutive budget surpluses for the remaining 3 months of the fiscal year. And former president of the 242 Small Business Association and the Resource Center, Mark Turnquist, telling Guardian Business that in the upcoming budget, money should be earmarked to support small businesses in the Family Islands based on specific needs, wants, and industries of each island. He's stressing that this would require the creation of a strategic plan for small business development. More on his comments in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, inflation in the UK spiking to its highest level for more than a year in April amid a raft of higher domestic bills such as energy and water. Official figures showing today out of the Office for National Statistics that its key measure of inflation, as measured by the Consumer Price Index, rose by 3.5% in the year to April, up from 2.6% in March. April's rate was the highest since January 2024 and above expectations for a more modest increase to 3.3%. The scale of the rise was also the largest since October 2022, at the height of the energy crisis in the wake of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. And sales at Target fell more than expected in the first quarter, and the retailer is warning that they will slip for all of 2025 as its customers, worried over the impact of tariffs in the economy, have pulled back on spending. Target also said that customer boycotts have also done some damage during the latest quarter. The company scaled back many diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in January after they came under attack by conservative activists at the White House. Target's retreat created another backlash, with more customers angered by the retailer's reduction of LGBTQ plus themed merchandise for Pride Month in June of 2023. Shares fell 3% before the opening bell today. Sales fell 2.8% to $23.85 billion in the quarter, and that was short of the $24.23 billion Wall Street expected. Sales were also down for the $24.5 billion the company reported during the same period last year. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday. Market movers: Cable Bahamas moving 12,456 shares, closing at $357, up 32 cents. Commonwealth Bank moving 38,269 shares, down 5 cents to 488. Galena Holdings moving 548, unchanged at 1240. Doctors Hospital moving 346. Unchanged at $5.50. Focol moving 1,500 shares, down 1 cent to $6.09. Consolidated Water down 9 cents to $5.30. And Emira Incorporated up 15 cents to $10.71. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,964.92, up 0.32. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. We'll be back with Morning Blend Business in just a bit.
Have you already tried our President Butter? Ooh la la. Indulge a little with President, because now more than ever, we need to savor the taste, textures, and feelings to truly enjoy the little things that mean the most. President Butter, something to savor.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Been off the WSC grid for over a year? Now's the time to come back and save big. For a limited time only, the Water and Sewage Corporation is offering up to 50% off reconnection fees for customers disconnected for more than 1 year. Don't miss this chance to reconnect and enjoy reliable, quality water service at a discounted rate. Call 302-5599 to learn more. Water and Sewage Corporation, dedicated to dependable, affordable water solutions.
And we are back with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And it is our monthly series with Bristol Wines and Spirits. And we're very pleased to have back with us Kyle Stubbs and Tori Saunders. Hey.
Good morning.
You missed you last month, but you're back. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Morning. It is good to be back. And apologies to our listening audience. It was nothing intentional. It was just, the cost of busyness.
It's busy.
Funnily enough, I was the one hosting. Anyway.
Plus, it was Easter. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
Yeah,
And then we just got a friendly reminder to reconstruct this relationship for the next 12 months, and we took care of that last weekend.
Wonderful. Well, we should
And then we
cheers to that.
right? That's the 12 more months of talking wine and experiences and all of that good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah. All right, so it's a special day for wine lovers.
Yeah, a really special day. This is one of the, let me see how I could use my poetry to bring some justice to this young lady. This young lady, her name is Chardonnay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And today the entire world is celebrating her.
Wow.
That was pretty cool.
And in some spheres, they describe this lady as a Beyonce of the wine, right? Of the wine world.
Why is that?
I could have done without that one.
See, there you go.
See, say hey,
Yes, hey,
yeah,
right?
Oh, it works. Okay.
So,
But there's
he's
also
not a member of the Bay Hive.
No.
Right?
But there's also, she's a celebrated artist, right?
Yeah.
And so is Chardonnay Grape, right? She's very versatile. I think this country album kind of still have us all warped in our head. Like, how did she really step out of her comfort zone, her genre, and really hit it out of the park?
Right.
It's the same thing with Chardonnay, very versatile, right? We can get it sparkling.
Yeah.
We can get it with no oak interaction, or we can get it with a lot of oak interaction. We can get it with no malolactic fermentation, so we get all of that green apple tight sensations, or we could have it with 100% malolactic fermentation, where we get the buttery, yogurty, brioche kind of stuff.
I wanted to ask you, what makes it buttery? Those ones that are buttery, what causes
It's
it
that
to be
same
buttery?
terminology, right? That malolactic fermentation. So it's converting one type of acid to a next acid.
Okay.
So malic acid, which we associate with sensations from unripe green apples, to lactic, yogurty lactic stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So I have to say on World Chardonnay Day that this show, Bristol Wines and Spirits on this show, changed my view of Chardonnay. I never had it, didn't want it. Nobody could.
You never had it?
No, sorry, I never had it. Never wanted to have it.
You were
And
part of the ABC group.
Yeah.
Whoever that is, yeah.
Anything with
but
Chardonnay.
Oh,
yes, I was.
Oh,
but
so
you
it's
guys
like
changed
those
my mind.
Merlot people?
Yeah, just like those
okay.
Merlot.
You guys changed my mind about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your go-to Chardonnay these days? I'm thinking.
I'm gonna. Go ahead. You can say it.
I think I seen you with a Louis Latour recently, maybe.
Oh.
Deodar Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And
then,
then I know.
And of course, Peter always got me with.
The Beringer.
Yes.
Which one? Beringer Main and
The
Vine
Main and Vine,
Chardonnay, which is
okay.
good,
Yeah,
right?
it
And
is.
when we look at those value wines, some people look at them and say, "Oh, that's just $12, or that's just $15." But when we think about where those wines are growing, there's one SKU that really stands out, right? So when we look at Beringer Main and Vine, it's California, as Chardonnay in Cab Country.
Right.
So when you look at Beringer Main and Vine Merlot, you don't expect it to be a Merlot, but because it's coming out of Chardonnay and Cab Country, you expect to get a good value on their Chardonnay cap. So their Chardonnay is good. It's the same thing when we look at, Australian Shirazes. Lindemans has a full range, but their Shiraz kind of outperforms because they're known for that.
There was one that I fell in love with, but y'all don't bring it in anymore. That was, I don't know if I was.
which one is that?
It was Menage a Trois.
Oh, yeah. So what happened is Menage a Trois has just been driven by the red wines.
Oh,
right,
okay.
and so when we do an evaluation of that whole portfolio, it's like, and then
that Pinot Grigio from them is.
I
Really
was just
good.
gonna say, so when
Really
we
good.
substituted the hard Chardonnay and brought in the Pinot Grigio, and the Pinot Grigio has just been performing.
okay.
It's like, okay, well, this is the mix that we'll keep, kind of thing.
Okay, you mentioned Beringer. There's one that's with the oak barrels.
Yeah, the Beringer Bros, with the the bourbon barrel.
I like that one.
Yeah,
I don't. And it seems super buttery, but I really like that one.
Yeah, so again, it'll be the malolactic in combination with whatever oak treatment they have.
I remember Duckhorn had one that I liked a lot too.
The decoy,
Chardonnay.
limited with the blue
Yeah, I
label.
think so, yeah.
Yeah. Very nice, elegant,
Yeah.
but still had all of those good pieces.
There's a really affordable one that you sell that I'm almost ashamed to say I like it, but I think is really kind of refreshing.
My favorite one is the more
Is it-
cost-efficient one, the Frontera Chardonnay.
I just got for
That
those.
one?
Yeah.
There's the red diamond.
Oh,
Yeah. I actually think it's pretty good.
It is pretty
Yeah.
good. Where did we have red diamond? Oh, we carried red diamond Chardonnay and Pinot Noir to a tasting at the yacht club. And the yacht club, interesting experience, and we love to do this with them. They bring in all of the vendors, right? You sip and select, right? Because it's a club, and the majority of persons who go there for lunch or to patronize the food and beverage piece of the component would be club members.
Right.
So they have an opportunity to taste wines from different suppliers and vote and make a selection. And my colleagues and I were just really surprised at how well Red Diamond Chardonnay performed that night. And there were some really good Chardonnays out there. I don't want to call nobody else's Chardonnay names, but there were some really good Chardonnays out there. And I was just like, there's no way.
Because
Red
the
Diamond
price
at
is so
$14.95.
Why we all feel like it's weird to mention the cost-effective ones?
Because there's so many snobs around.
Right.
No, that's what it is.
And so, two things, right? There's the snobs around, and then there's those who just equate a dollar value with quality.
Quality,
right? Whereas if Tori and I, we want to spend $20 and find something that drinks like 50, 60 bucks. It makes so much.
I like when you put it
sense.
that way.
Yeah.
One of your locations had it for a really low price for a while. I was like, what's happening here? But it's so good.
No, that's a good
Hidden
shot.
gem.
Yeah, absolutely. This
know,
text,
you know.
yeah, seriously, it's really good. This person says here, why do I get headaches from drinking Chardonnays?
From drinking Chardonnays, that might be a particular style of Chardonnays, and I'm thinking it might be oak Chardonnays that have that extra contribution of compounds from the oak barrel. Both oak and unoaked Chardonnays will have sulfites in them. So, that's really what people kind of point their fingers to that kind of triggers some of those reactions and headaches and that kind of stuff.
Or if this is the problem, share the bottle with other people.
All right, so there's some... So this might be something, right? Because there's some Chardonnays I drink and say, this really tastes like champagne. But that is a major component of champagne.
It is indeed.
And a lot of people get headaches from champagne.
So on two things. So it could be a combination of the whatever element from the Chardonnay grape itself is contributing to that, as well as the carbon dioxide that we trap and keep inside the sparkling wine could trigger that. Some people absolutely don't do sparkling, right? Whether it's entry level sparkling Prosecco or it's champagne, like that just triggers bad reactions. But the grape itself will be interesting to see. But I know just how we treat Chardonnay grape, right? A lot of other white grapes don't go through that same malolactic fermentation that we speak about. So it's a very strong grape that can take, different approaches to wine making. And usually it always shows up in a complex style. Even if it's an unoaked Chardonnay, it's still heavier than a Pinot Grigio. It still have a lot more going on with it chemically. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, wow. So anything special happening for World Chardonnay Day at Bristol or anywhere around?
So two things. We can make something happen. So we have a nice lifestyle partner you can follow on social media, on Instagram. It's Eating, as EATIN with Ellie, right? And she has the hottest discount code around town. I'm certain she's going to be popping a bottle of Chardonnay today.
Okay.
Telling you where you can get it from and what price you can get it for.
Nice.
But we just encourage anybody just to find your style of Chardonnay, grab a bottle today, raise a glass, whether it's a champagne, whether it's an unoaked Chardonnay. You could stop at Bristol's and pop in for a Louis Latour, a dash, if you're a French, old style, old world kind of person. Or Tori would insist you try Joel Gott, unoaked Chardonnay from California. Or if you're looking for elegance with a little bit of oak, Chateau Ste. Michelle Indian Wells is a nice Chardonnay. Or if you're a bubbly person, you don't want to break the bank, you can pop in and get La Hoste today for about $45. True
Nice.
champagne with a little bit of Chardonnay inside them.
All right, excellent stuff. So happy World Chardonnay Day to everybody. All right, but we aren't going to be drinking Chardonnay today, apparently.
No, we're not, because unfortunately, or fortunately, Bristol's has been busy again. So we have 5 new wines that we want to present to the public today.
Okay.
We always celebrate Chardonnay Day, and there's no disrespect, and we will always have good Chardonnays, and our teams inside our retail stores will always be ready to sell you a good bottle of Chardonnay. But more importantly, we do need to introduce you to some new products.
Okay, wonderful. That's always exciting.
So the wine world has been shifting to fruit infused or fruit based wines, as well as lower carbohydrate, lower alcohol, lower calorie content.
Wow.
And so this new project here is kind of in the middle of the road. It's from Yellowtail. We've all been drinking Yellowtail for decades, right? We've all had good and bad experiences with Yellowtail. But this is their twist on the trend in the market, which is first for Yellowtail is wine, right? And then it's the introduction of natural fruit flavors.
Okay.
Followed by the introduction of a little bit of carbonization. So this is like a spumante, frizzante, small little bubbles, slightly bubbling on the palate. It is wine based, so we're going to get that wine.
But is it technically wine?
Yeah, they consider it wine.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Smells very
so
fruity.
this first one we have here is the tropical pineapple.
It reminds me of something. Oh, I mean, you did mention spumante.
Yeah, so it almost, if you drink Stella Rosa, right, you get the fruit flavor with a little bit of bubbles on the palate, and it's not overly sweet. It's naturally sweetened.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Now that I tasted it, I'm getting the passion fruit.
It's not overly sweet.
Yeah. So they say lightly frizzy, 90 calories, 0.5 per 5 ounces, right, which is our standard wine glass pouring size.
So it's a white sangria.
They says white wine, so tropical pineapple infusion.
It's interesting.
It's really good.
It smells sweeter than it tastes, so
Mhm.
that's good. But okay.
A couple of things. I could see this in some coolers for the summer.
Oh yeah.
On the beach.
Oh yeah.
I could see some bars playing with this in some cocktails.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yes. Okay.
Well, that's nice.
Definitely.
Refreshing.
Yeah. What's the price on this story?
That's usually where Zena comes in.
What happened to the new Zena today?
Yeah, Zena's back. She's
It's
on some
12.
time off. Yeah, I was going to say 9 plus VAT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
9
So
plus
$12 is the retail price
wow.
on that.
Okay. All right.
Oh, we got to put this
So-
in plenty places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's nothing against just the Moscato, but let's just don't stick to Moscato this summer. There's a lot for us to try, and our good partners have already jumped all over it, right? So it's in Keg Ranch in the west, it's in Island Wines and Spirits in the east. If you go further east, it's at Knowles on East Bay Street in Camp Road.
Base Road.
It's at Base Road on Nassau Street.
Wow. Okay.
What's the liquor store on the east?
Sea Grape.
It's at Sea Grape.
Nice.
And of course, not to be left out, it's making its way through the Family Islands as well.
Definitely.
And so I just heard your guest earlier, before we came on, we'll be carrying some of these with us in
To
2
Cat
weeks down
Island?
to Cat Island as
Okay.
well.
All right. Excellent.
Oh, they can love that.
It's going to be quite refreshing.
I love that. Just say the name again.
This is the Yellowtail Fresh Twist.
Fresh Twist.
Fresh Twist.
I mean, that's
Absolutely.
one of the 3 flavors.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's the pineapple.
Yeah.
You go to mango and peach. then-
Mango and peach. Wow.
And it's a twist off.
And it's a twist off. Yes.
Nothing pretentious about
No,
this.
no.
You know?
Okay. Nice.
So, sorry, maybe I missed it. What's the base wine? Is there a base wine?
It's usually neutral.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to say it's a Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay. Right.
And they're all called Fresh Twist.
They're all called Fresh Twist.
Just different flavors.
Just for the folks who can't see, Chester and these gentlemen are drinking out of Gabrielle glass. These glasses are. Let me see if I have another poetic something in there. What we consider the Rolls Royce of glassware.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And if you look at the bottom of it, it kind of have a decanter shape
Right.
coming out, and then it comes back in with a regular finish to the top. But it isn't your big bowl or big rim at the top like we get for the big Burgundy or cab glasses. But it's large enough that the wine kind of aerates at the bottom of the glass, and small enough to the top that the concentration of all of the favorable aromas is what kind of comes through. We've drunk the same wine out of 2 or 3 different glasses, and yeah, this is
Wow.
this is it.
And you can use this for any type?
Yeah,
Or
any
you-
type.
Yeah.
So any tastings now, people are using these glassware.
Okay.
Whether it's
Right.
champagne, sparkling wine, whether it's fortified wines, these are the glasses that's being
Wow.
universally used now to taste.
I'm going to
Okay.
take Yellowtail Fresh Twist to my wife, and she's not going to want anything else ever again.
Good. And you're a good friend of Bristol, so you get it at a good price as well. So instead of
I gotta be a good friend of Ellie.
there you go. But yeah, instead of you buying one, you'll get two.
Peach and mango. That was the one you just bought.
Mango is my
It
favorite
was
fruit.
really good.
I think I prefer the pineapple though.
So far?
Yeah.
No, I love
Yeah,
mango.
I'm the pineapple guy on this as well.
Yeah.
This is nice though. It's been really well received in the market.
Mango and peach. That's good. That's a good mix.
Yeah, and like you say, it should be good with cocktails. I could see it.
Absolutely.
It should be really, really, really
You
decent.
know, I mean, all of the elements that we like is in this minus the alcohol content. We like a good
Right.
fruit character, something that's a little bit sweet. Some people want it a little bit sweeter. Some people want it not as sweet. A little bit of nice feel because you have that frizz on the palate. You know, we usually top off cocktails with some type of bubbles, depending on what kind of cocktail it is.
So again, what
And then you-
percentage is it?
7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, and then we're going to move up into a 14.5% wine, which is usually, so there is room to play with a vodka, 2-ounce vodka with this in a
Interesting.
cocktail.
A little more than a beer.
Have you tried it?
We haven't played with it as it's just, it came in 1 week, then we had Tory suppliers on the ground the following week, so we did a nice little blitz. And now we're just getting to playing with it.
That's going to be great.
Definitely.
I'm gonna need the for those places that don't typically carry a wine option, like some of the fries.
Yeah, this is
Potter's Keys.
This is an easy try for the summer.
Yeah,
This is an easy.
I would say bring that
easy
in
try.
and get some ladies.
Yeah, sampling of
who wanna-
absolutely.
Who want to drink?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah,
like
that's I mean, if you think about it, right? Pineapple is the new it when we come to conch salad and tropical salad, right?
Oh, yeah.
But now you got this level of sweetness to kind of tame whatever kind of heat you put in that tropical salad. That's a perfect combination right there. Perfect combination.
Absolutely. All right, so we got a third one that we are sampling here.
It's
Which one is
rosé.
this?
Strawberry and lime.
So it's calling itself a rosé.
It is based on the color.
All right.
Strawberry and lime.
I'll let explain to you all why I like this the most.
I'm still with the mango one.
It's taking you back somewhere.
Taking me back to that strawberry candy.
In
one with
the
the strawberry
red
wrapper?
foil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Kyle's very pensive.
No, it's just like all of them are very palate friendly in the front, right? But this one gives you that lime kick in the back. It's almost like telling you, like, no, I'm here to create
you're right.
balance.
You're right,
You know, it's
you're
like, so I love the fruit character on this pineapple out of the three. I love the balance in the strawberry and lime because just as you think you finish with the strawberry sweetness in the front, and the lime comes to tell you, no, just a little bit of balance. But they're nice.
Yeah.
I think they're really nice at 7.5%. 2 friends, 2 bottles on the beach, and we're still good.
I appreciate that they're not overly sweet.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
All right, Kyle, I think I still prefer the pineapple, but I think this will make the best cocktails.
Yeah, most definitely because of the balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is
that's pretty
crazy.
good.
2 weeks later, Tori, they're still performing nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
And so you're saying other winemakers are doing stuff like this as well, or you think this is the beginning of the
we
trend?
had Southern Home started with us a year before last with the teas. The lemonade tea and 1 or 2 others. We have another supplier from Argentina. Well, Stella Rosa has been a hit. And we have another supplier from Argentina who sent us, I think this is his second set of samples that we'll taste through and make a decision. But what we are still trying to understand and find out is this new generation of alcohol consumers, where they really at.
Right.
And I think what we're also going to see, I don't want to preempt it, and I don't want to give nobody no edge, but the development of this non-alcoholic category, just based because we move from our baby boomers who were serious about the alcohol consumption and spent, likewise, and generation after generation that slightly shifted.
Right.
Now we have the last 2. One is health conscious, right? We watching our calories and our sugar intake, and the next.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
well,
okay.
And then the next is these young folks who are playing with everything else besides alcohol.
Right.
Right. So they're not consuming alcohol, but we see trends that are showing us. One of the biggest trends is non-alcoholic tequila inside the U.S. right now.
Non-alcoholic tequila.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that? Can you call that tequila?
How does it
You
work?
won't call it tequila, but it's a spirit-esque based
Tequila.
beverage, tequila. Right. So just so we have non-alcoholic wine, right? Right. So that's good. These good partners of ours.
Does it
We
still
probably
burn?
before the end of the
Agave
year-
juice? Is that what that is? I mean, what is that? I don't understand. But I'm curious. I would like to taste it.
You know what? I think I'm gonna bring.
You
We can bring a.
yeah.
We can bring a. We can
Okay.
bring a.
You've had it before?
No, but we're exploring it.
Okay.
Because folks are sending us information on a daily basis. They're sending
you
us samples. Yeah.
serious?
Wow.
Josh probably will be our first non-alcoholic sparkling.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, they're doing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, we just haven't got it yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing. They're using the clearer grape, the same grape that's inside the Josh Prosecco.
Right.
Just doesn't have alcohol in the end. I mean, Heineken did it. They've been hanging out inside our food stores for a few years with Heineken Zero.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of requests with throughout the islands.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies want a non-alcoholic wine.
But I think it's going to be a serious focus.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't going to be, you go in and you ask for a non-alcoholic cocktail. It's like, no, you're going to have non-alcoholic components of every category that's on a cocktail list or a wine list kind of thing. Yeah, that's the
Mocktail, wine, beer.
on that serious level. That's the direction it's
They're
going.
more and more opening throughout other parts of the world.
Oh, yeah, most
Just,
definitely.
Mocktail bars.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way we go in. We don't want to lose the social element.
Yeah,
I mean, people don't want to lose the social element, but they just
Yeah.
aren't up
Yeah.
for the alcohol
Right.
component like we are.
Interesting times. And you think it's not just a trend? You think this is something
this
that's
is
here to stay?
no. I mean, people who were in the wine and spirits business is going in the non-alcoholic business.
Yeah.
But keeping their wine and spirit business.
Right.
That's the way it's going.
Yeah. Okay.
I think another year or two, and we'll have complete studies on this new generation. And once we could put that contextually into play, we'll see an explosion of these type of things.
2 out of every 10 people don't drink.
Yeah.
Are the prices for these non-alcoholic things lower?
I think they're going to be relative. You know,
It's going to become a demand.
right?
Demand,
You go into a bar and you get a bottle of water at $5.
That's true.
You get a gin and water for $12.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I think it'd still be relative.
Wow. So you don't think it's going to go the way of the, I don't want to say fake meat, but that's how it is. I mean, there was a big surge and then it's really tapered off and fallen.
No,
You don't think it's gonna be like that?
I just think the spirits and the spirit industry in general, the beverage industry has just been so serious about all elements of it,
Yeah.
scientifically studying things in laboratories and that kind of stuff that, I don't think it's a gimmick. I think the quality of non-alcoholic stuff is going to improve, and it's just not going to be malts and waters anymore, but it's going to be
Low ABVs and more calorie conscious.
of all of the categories that we're accustomed to.
But the taste is going to be close.
Enough. At that point, I get that's another part of that conversation is
Right.
how concerned are they about the taste profile? They may just don't want alcohol in the system,
Yeah. Right.
but still want to look and feel some kind of way in a social setting. So it'll be interesting. That's why we love what we do. We get to watch and see, behavioral patterns change and then adjust and make things happen.
And I guess at some point they won't know what they're missing.
Very much so.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Just like folks who don't eat meat.
Yeah.
I understand completely, but
Absolutely understand.
I feel for them.
So you don't eat meat?
No, I'm not one of them.
Okay. All right. So we got 2 more that we're going to be sampling this morning.
Yep.
So that's the Yellowtail Fresh Twist. And you got so only 3 varieties, or yep. Okay, so that's great.
That's
Great
the only,
stuff.
That's the only 3.
Yeah. All right. So now we're moving on to I don't know. You can't call it real wine, right? Or is it compared to the?
We can call it still wine.
Still wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have 2 new Cabernet Sauvignons. One interesting because of the vessel that we fermented and left the wine in. And one interesting because it's a well-known name, and it's just, again, keeping ahead of the curve and moving to another part of California where it's not as expensive, but probably giving you still just as good of a fruit character or better than Napa Valley, where it's extremely expensive. So this first one is 1,000 Stories.
Okay.
We introduced 1,000 Stories that smells nice. A few years ago. when we started diving into this category of bourbon barrel aged wines, right?
yeah.
So what that simply means we'll be using the barrel from bourbon after it's been used to age bourbon to age this wine. So we get a little extra oomph that we don't get from just a regular toasted barrel. Right. We get residual stuff from bourbon. We get from the original toast levels. All of the peatiness and that kind of stuff that we speak about inside those spirits, they kind of seep in, into
really
this
does
kind of.
smell
So
amazing.
it's right, and so we expect, no matter what level of weight this falls on the palate, that it's going to be full of flavor, right? But the nose kind of lets us know that this is going to be welcome into something really nice.
Wow. Okay.
And it sure is.
1,000 stories.
That's very nice.
That's very nice. It tastes expensive. Is it expensive?
No, it's not.
Mm.
No, it's not.
Yeah. What are we talking about here?
25, 11 plus VAT.
Okay. All right.
Are you meant to get the bourbon hint?
I mean, some very distinguished palates on our factories probably will, but you get an extra feel, maybe a little extra burn from the alcohol content, but not necessarily something that you smell, more so of a feel.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the palate.
Yeah.
It's like comfort food.
Yeah.
What else to say? What would you? This is you can sip this. You could definitely just
Standalone,
sit around and talk to your friends and drink this.
Yeah.
I would put this on my rack.
Yeah.
Share 1,000 stories.
It's getting
there you go.
It's getting really hard right now, but I would have this on the outside with something on the grill as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, because it's so hot, I would put this on some ice or in the fridge for 5 or 10 minutes before I enjoy it. Just to, all that extra peatiness that we're talking about from the bourbon barrel and the alcohol that you could feel kind of contain that a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but outside under the tree.
But if you
the
were
grill.
to pair this with food, what would you recommend?
If I was pairing this with food, thinking in the Bahamian context, I would put this with pork chop. A nicely seasoned bone-in pork chop, restaurant style, double bone-in pork chop. So you get that flavor from the bone, but that nice pork meat itself. I would do this with something really nice and fatty, disgusting, like pork belly.
Oh. Does anything go with curry?
Yeah, man.
Like I get the curry
Rosés
goat.
with a nice
curry
extra
goat.
fruit character. Rieslings with a little extra sweetness to it. Yeah.
T-bone steak.
Yeah, T-bone for sure. Nothing more than medium because they kind of take away all the juice from it. But yeah, definitely T-bone.
People go over medium.
Savages.
That's the story Sanders, everybody. I'm not in on that.
Don't meet the pitchfork crew outside, Tori. All right. All right, so that's beautiful. You say 25.
11.
Oh man,
Plus
that's
VAT.
really good.
Yeah,
that's really good. That's
wow. That's
nice. And this is new.
Yeah.
New to Bristol. That's
1,000 stories cap.
all your locations.
bourbon barrel cap. Yeah, yeah. This is one of our standard brands.
It's one of the best you've brought in a long time.
Oh boy,
that's really nice.
So
okay.
far for the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
as far as cabs go, you mean? Is that what you mean?
in general, I think it's really, really cool. Nice. Okay. That's a beautiful one.
Right. So this is just a California AVA on that. So, site selections all through California, but we're playing with Cabernet Sauvignon. So it's usually going to be from hot pockets, where we get really good fruit character, higher levels of sugar. When we break that down with the yeast, we end up at slightly higher levels of alcohol. But now we're going to move a little south of San Fran into Paso Robles.
I got to ask, is that an introductory price or is it?
No, that's that price.
That's your price.
That's
okay.
the price.
All right, cool.
But, if you follow Eating with Ellie and she gives you the code, then you get the different price.
People are asking how you spell the Ellie. How did she spell
ELLY.
ELL.
EATIN.
Right.
Not eating.
Yeah, not
Right.
eating.
Eating.
I was putting it.
Eating with ELLY. Okay, great.
Now, stop me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to go out on a limb, or on a little grape branch, and say Paso wine kind of smells close
to
each other.
Mm-hmm.
Things from Paso seem to have a nose to me that are similar.
It's crazy you say that because I'm getting some real Dow-esque
Yeah.
characteristics.
But it's amazing how the color is a little bit different from the 1,000 Stories.
Yeah, this is a deep dark
purple.
Yeah, versus the red of
like the ruby.
Yeah,
This is a little bit more ruby.
That's
in there.
so interesting.
Yeah, but again, this is California, so site selection all over, and this is a little bit more specific now. We in
Okay.
Paso, who has similar climate to Napa Valley,
Right.
with a little bit of mountainous range, but not as high in terms of elevation. Extremely hot days, and then a little bit of shifting and cooling in the evenings.
Right.
So you got all that extra ripeness that you get
And
up
the
front.
nose is very different, I guess, because of the bourbon in the 1,000 Stories. But
The bourbon as well as the soil composition.
Yeah.
Paso is a nice little different type of soil composition from other pockets within California.
Wow.
But I think that two of these are.
No, this is really good.
Yeah.
But you wine experts are supposed to be able to taste regions, right?
Oh, I love Paso Robles.
Is that part of higher exams or something?
Yeah, so typicity of regions. Story would have done that in his most recent one, but if, when he goes into level 4, yeah. So it'll be 5 Chardonnays and identifying where they come from. One spot. And then the next thing is the vintage of those Chardonnays.
So I feel like I could pick out a Paso.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
We can start some wine
don't
stuff,
test
Chester.
me.
We can bring you around. We're like, Chester's coming in our wine, our blind tasting crew. But it'll be nice. But I am picking up what you're picking up, though. This is giving me Justin-esque, J-Law. This is giving me Dow. It's that Paso kind of feel that's coming through.
it is really different. And I've been drinking tea earlier. I don't know, but I taste a little pepper. Is it in the, at least at first, but not in the end? Is it just me? Well, maybe it's just me.
It's just you.
But no?
It's just you.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, like a white pepper, like a black pepper
A little
spice.
black pepper, yeah.
Right to the top of the roof.
Right.
Yeah. Right to the top of the roof.
How
Wow.
much is this one? This is Josh.
28.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the same line price with all of the Josh reserves. So it isn't even that it's just the regular Josh varietal from Paso Robles, but it's a reserve. So it follows the same line in terms of specific site selection, aging regimens. And then, I think Josh has just done an awesome job with their repackaging, especially on their reserve level. This looks like royalty right there.
It
in this
does,
bottle.
it does, yeah.
Nice stuff. Nice
It
stuff.
should be on your rack.
So you got a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, what's fun stuff
as
coming up?
Summer's about to start. We got about a minute.
A
So
minute?
Tell us.
Let's see how much we can put in there in this minute. So, starting next week on the 29th, will be our second edition of our Lux tasting. And this one is going to be featuring wines from Treasury Wine Estates. So, things like BV. 2 years ago, BV Rutherford was Wine of the Year. So we'll pull that out. E2, a really nice high-end Pinot Noir from cool climate in California, we'll pull out. I seen Stag's Leap was on the list. And the Beringer Estate. So we talk about the Beringer Mean and Fine Chardonnay. The step up from that is Beringer Founders Estate, which is pound and pound, best friends with Josh. And then we move up into the Knights Valley and the estate. So we'll pull out a couple of those. The whole thing about our Lux is we moved our $65 pricing to $85, so $20 increase on the price, but we moved our average wine pricing from $65 to $135.
Okay.
So including Tori and myself, we get to enjoy these wines that we usually do not get to open.
How many people can attend that?
35 folks.
35. So you got to sign up quickly.
Most definitely. I think when we left yesterday, we were up to 19. So chances are by the end of the week, we'll be locked in for next week, Thursday.
Okay.
And then we're celebrating rosé wine for the entire month of June. And we got a couple of things going on. A dine around, and you'll probably start seeing some things for this on the weekend. 8 restaurants that's going to offer you rosé and a dish off of their menu item at a special price just for us to get this food and rosé experience for the entire month of June.
Prefix menu.
No, just a dish.
Just
So
a dish, okay.
you'll be able to go and get Minuti Prestige and ceviche from Wild Thyme. I seen a risotto and a lobster tail with Matua rosé from Syrah.
Okay.
And so we on the last Friday of June we'll have a grand tasting of rosé wines. Synergy Band will be joining us for a little bit of entertainment that evening. So we'll move our $20 price point to $35 price points. And we'll have a food and wine tasting experience. We just haven't locked down the date yet, and that'll be at the London. But everything is geared towards Rosé for the month of June.
And I guess you'll tell us more about that next month, too.
Most definitely.
Yeah. All right. Always exciting. And again, you got 5 new products to sample this month. And we got to thank you for being here with us this morning.
Always
and,
a pleasure.
Get that yellowtail.
Yeah, get that in your life.
Kyle Stubbs, Tori Saunders, thank you so much for being with us.
Pleasure.
And we got at least 12 more months of this ahead of us. I'm very excited about that. Thank you again. Thank you, Bristol Wines and Spirits. Chester Robarts, thank you for being here this morning.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure.
I'll see you next week.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.